to the trading view chart right here now. And there we go. Now everything should be working. Yep, that screen is being shared. But I have to make sure that YouTube is running smoothly. Hang on. Device is not available. Why wouldn't that be available? 1 second, I'm almost ready. Mac OS screen capture, yes. Built-in retina display, this one right here. Okay. And now we're going to alright, 1 second, I'm almost done. Crop. That should be alright. I think everyone should be able to see the entire chart. That's all that matters for right now. I'm also recording everything, so I'm hitting start record now. And we should be running. Let me open up TradingView. Alright guys, for everyone who's watching on YouTube, you can simply join us on Discord to send messages, or I will also check the YouTube comment section every now and then. Alright, so let's get back to ES. We are now inside the New York kill zone. We've already been trading the the London kill zone. Funny. Hang on. Let me quickly log out of my Topstep account here, so I can log into that last Apex account that I haven't passed just yet. Yep, that's the one. 280 bucks are left. Let's see if we can't do that today. Alright, so as we can see, we are inside the New York kill zone now, starting at 8 AM. Later today we have, let me head over to here, to Forex Factory. We should have unemployment claims at 8:30. So I'm very interested to see how they are going to play out. 8:30, that's going to be in 20 minutes. Until then, I'm not sure if I'm going to take a trade. But yeah, levels I'm watching are, of course, this fair value gap, because it offered support already to deliver into this pool of buy-side liquidity right here. Buy-side liquidity taken. Buy-side liquidity taken. And here as well, we left equal highs. We wicked with one tick above those equal highs and we reversed. We didn't go for sell side, so that's interesting. Let me just get rid of everything. Hang on, executions. And start marking up everything for the AM session. Get rid of most of the London session stuff that we do not need any longer. Short-term low. That's that 15-minute fair value gap. I would still put weight on that, because that's pretty much the one that kept supporting us the entire morning. And I would, start doing my markup on the 15-minute chart to see where we at, and then we drop it down to the 5. So New York midnight, we are going to extend that out to roughly 1 PM. Right now, we already cleared this buy side. We have a 15-minute fair value gap. I'm going to leave it at this 5-minute fair value gap, because this is the time frame that we are going to spend the most time on. I'm just using the 15-minute time frame for additional confluences. Alright, so 15-minute time frame fair value gap. We've got the fair value gap high labeled. Those are both 5-minute fair value gaps. I'm gonna get rid of these for now. Now, actually, we can use that to bring that up to here because this volume imbalance here on the 15-minute time frame hasn't been filled. Hang on, let me just make sure there's someone missing. Now, sure. So this is a unfilled volume imbalance. It's going to be interesting to see if we're going to get up there, maybe during 9:30, but we will see if we even stream until 9:30. If we can secure 5 handles prior to that or pass that account, I pretty much will end the week today. So let's see, buy side right here. And so far, after clearing this buy side right here, this high at 3:30 p.m. New York local time, all we did pretty much is still move higher. So we've been forming higher highs and higher lows pretty much since we cleared a daily sell side level right here at 441.25. If we go into the daily chart, hang on, just quickly let it load. That's the sell side I'm referencing, this low. If I zoom out, you see exactly what I mean. That's the sell side we took this morning during the Asian kill zone. So here during the Asian kill zone, we cleared the previous day's low, and we also took out that daily sell side. After that, we pretty much shifted market structure on the 5-minute time frame. Used the fair value gap on the 5-minute time frame as well to deliver higher, and then from here on, we pretty much just started forming higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and right now we seem to be forming a new higher low. So we have plenty of sell side below each and every one of these lows, so I'm going to mark that out. All of them are short-term lows. Right here and right there. So sell side, sell side, sell side. So far, before we continue with anything else today, we just want to note that the only thing that we took out today was buy side. Of course, we cleared that daily sell side liquidity and the previous day's low, but from here on, all we did was clearing buy side. So at 8:30, we could maybe even expect a quick run for sell side to pump it back up, because markets like to dump to pump and pump in order to dump. Alright, so just let me get everything finished here. Right, we have our sell side liquidity marked up. We just cleared buy side the entire morning, so let's drop it down to the 5-minute time frame once again and see how we can go from here. Once again, if you just joined the live stream on YouTube, simply join us on Discord for a non-delayed live stream basically. The most important 5-minute fair value gaps, in my opinion, right now, between those sell side levels would be this level right here. New York midnight. That's the 5-minute bearish fair value gap. Buy side above here, sell side. So overall, I would be still looking at this fair value gap because it offered support not just one time after shifting market structure right here. It offered support 2 times already. This one offered support here, but we closed below it right here, but then we immediately closed back above it. So that's fair because all we did basically was filling this lowest 5-minute fair value gap. So I would also be extending that one out on the 5. Right here, did we get into that one? We have this unfilled fair value gap. We have plenty of fair value gaps here. Pretty much we bounced off this order block right here. The only down closing candle in this entire move to the upside. So let's see, we have a 5-minute fair value gap here, which seems to be respected. We did not respect this one, so I'm not going to drag it out. Here we would have a inversion fair value gap, but it also hasn't been used, so I'm just looking for the 5-minute fair value gaps that have actually been used. We could be looking at this potential inversion right here. We closed above it, we got back inside of the bearish fair value gap that should have offered resistance. We retested it for bullish support and continued to deliver into buy side. We got back into it and we kept holding right. Also paired with that New York midnight level. Alright, but other than that, there's not really much I can draw up. There are plenty of fair value gaps here, but not all of them really have been used or already have offered support. Here, we do not have any fair value gaps in here. It's 8:15, so we still have some time left. That's our 15-minute fair value gap high. That's our 5-minute fair value gap right here. We have a volume imbalance above us. (15-minute) unfilled volume imbalance. Just gonna make a little note in here so we know what this level actually is, because it's from a different time frame. And that next, or the closest 5-minute fair value gap above this 15-minute bearish one would be this tiny little one right here. But yeah, let's just draw it in so we have some potential upside targets. Alright, let me see how the YouTube live stream is going. Yes, I will post a Discord link. Sorry, I haven't checked it for some time. It's also in the comment section below right here. Let me quickly copy that. So let's get back to TradingView. And that should pretty much be enough for the pre-session markup. Because I do not want to draw too many fair value gaps. Only the important ones that have offered support or haven't been filled so far, which really would be this one down here. This one right here. We have plenty of sell side, or we've done the entire London session and rollover period into the New York AM session has been that we formed higher highs and higher lows. So we are in bullish market structure. We could be drawing some sort of a pennant if we connect all these lows. So we have a rising triangle, but that's not really what I'm looking for. I'm just doing tape reading using ICT-Concepts and trading my funded Apex account. So let's see what we can get during today's AM session. Remember, we have 8:30 news right here. 8:30. Unemployment. Right here at 8:30. So that's only 9 minutes left from now. We still keep on respecting the only discount that we have created. Bullish fair value gap is what I mean by discount. Since pretty much 7 AM New York local time, even earlier. No fair value gap in here, no fair value gap there. The next fair value gap that we've got prior to this one right here would have been at 5:45 AM New York local time. This is just, yeah, another sign or another confirmation that price so far is delivering efficiently, but it's not something I would have liked to trade after the London session. During our London live stream, not live stream, but on our Discord analysis this morning, I shared a trade entry right here based on that 15-minute bullish fair value gap right here. Let me open it up. this bullish 15-minute time frame fair value gap. Yes, we had a wick below that fair value gap, but yeah, wicks to the damage, candles or bodies tell the story. And once I saw this up close candle right here, I placed my limit order right on the 5-minute time frame based on where we at this inversion fair value gap right here, where I've been filled right here on this move to the downside, where we retested that New York midnight level, delivered higher into buy side liquidity. In TR up. What's TR up? I don't remember, but maybe, yeah. Maybe I need a little hint. Traders Roundup. Kids Room. Ah, yeah, ICT-Concepts on Twitter. But I haven't really been... He's got his own Discord server now, isn't it right? I'm pretty sure. Haven't joined that. TT Trades. Could be. But I don't really remember it. TT Trades. The only other Discords I have been active, or I used to be active on, were the DR Academy Discord, the free one. I also did live streams on there. And yeah, DR, that should be it. Ah, yeah, that's the DR one. Yeah, fair enough. The Masters old Discord, until I've got banned, or I have been banned for... Oh, what was that reason again? For sharing, or for mentioning that I have my own Discord server? I don't know. Not really important. I'm pretty glad that I got rid of that whole DR system. It's still great, but yeah, it didn't fit my style. All right, 8:20. Yeah, I've been with the DR Academy for some time, and then I had a look into the data, and it's nothing groundbreaking in my opinion. Of course, it's plenty of data. I mean, if you're a database trader, perfect. But I've found better results in doing what I'm doing right now with the tape reading approach. So far today, it has been a pretty tough read. If we compare it to yesterday, yesterday was just beautiful, especially during the London session yesterday, where we also had a few good calls. New York AM session, less nice. We had this massive pump. I think during yesterday's live stream, we shorted ES of this fair value gap right here into sell side, which would have been right here. And also this sell side. I think that was our final target right here, this one. Those equal lows, yep, I remember. And afterwards I stopped the stream, and then we just had this massive pump. We consolidated, continued to drop, and then we had FOMC meeting minutes news. So I just decided to stop trading since I've already secured. Hang on, I've got in right here. Take profit, 5 handles on this little short. So then I didn't continue to trade the New York AM session. So let's see. We have 3.5 minutes left before we get news. Unemployment claims at 8:30. So we've been still respecting this bullish fair value gap. Sometimes I do take trades prior to news, but yeah, only if it's a high quality setup. So of course what you could have done is enter based on that fair value gap, place your stop loss maybe below this wick low. And once we see a close below this bullish fair value gap, we could exit the trade. Yeah, but I'm not sure with the volatility of those 8:30 news, so I'm just going to wait until after that and see what we're getting. Yeah, it's just consolidating. Like said earlier during the live stream, Prior to this fair value gap, right here at 7 a.m., the last fair value gap price has left behind would have been right here at 5:45, and right now it's 8:30. So since 7 a.m., no other fair value gap has been put in place. So that's pretty much 1.5 hours of consolidation or ranging. And prior to this fair value gap, it also took 1 or 1.5 hours until we formed that next fair value gap. We will see. We will see. So ICT kill zones, I don't need them on a chart. Quickly check out NQ. So NQ has been trending up higher the entire morning session. Here we have this low. We also had SMT divergence right here. If we compare this low right here on ES to this low right there, we cleared sell side on NQ, and now we're already back above buy side, which would have been this high right here. So far we have a tiny little bearish SMT divergence, but ES could simply also break above buy side and continue the move back up. Right, so 1.5 minutes left. NQ is already above this high. We had SMT divergence right here, but that already has been outside of the London kill zone. For me, the London kill zone ends at 5 a.m. and after that I do not take any more trades. So let's see, midnight level is correct, yes. Unemployment claims in 1 minute. Yeah, I think eventually, if we don't do it at 8:30, but around 9:30 New York market open, we should start clearing some sell side. 100%. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and you see how, let's take a look at this. So from here to here we have a 10-handle move. So from our from this higher high to this higher low, from this higher high to this higher low, we have a 7-handle move. From this higher high to this higher low, we have a 6.5-handle move. And if we break this high, our next higher low or higher high would be right here, and our higher low would be right there. So basically all I'm trying to say is that we are moving to the upside, putting higher highs and higher lows in place. All right, there's the news candle without taking sell side. All right, high, low. Do we have a 15-minute fair value gap? Yes, we also have a overlapping 15-minute fair value gap paired with this one right here. So that's actually nice. I like that. I did not see that prior. That's pretty much the area we've been bouncing off since 5:55, roughly 6 a.m. We cleared buy side. I would consider those two lows relative equal lows. So sell side here. Unemployment negative by 1K, lower than forecasted. Nice. But I don't really, I'm not too big on actually looking at the outcome of the news. I think everything is already pre-planned. Whether the CPI outcome is good or bad, it's already, let's say the setup has already been put in place on what liquidity they're going to take prior to the news, likely during the London session, blah blah blah, especially on higher impact news like CPI, FOMC, NFP, and other big events like this. Maybe on unemployment, so let's say smaller red folders with less impact, Yeah, maybe, but yeah, still. I'm not I just want to know that we have high impact news, but the outcome doesn't really matter to me. I'm more interested in how they use the news photo or the news event and yeah, see into what liquidity pool they deliver price into, and if I can't use that for my own trade ideas. Alright, pretty 50-50 here. We cleared buy side. We have sell side relative equal lows below us. Sell side here, 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 and here, and there. We open up with a volume imbalance. So let me just mark out the 8:30 open. New York midnight. NQ. Also indecision. Let's see. So we cleared buy side. Market structure shift level would be sitting right here because higher low, higher high, higher high. So we pretty much look for the lowest point between the previous highest high and the current highest high, which would be right here at this low. But I just look at this low basically because yeah, I treat them as relative equal lows right there. But the idea stays the same. So 30 seconds to go. As usual, we get the highest amount of volatility on the 5-minute candle during that last minute. Alright. It's our 5-minute bearish fair value gap. Did we already close above consequent encouragement? Yeah, a long time ago actually. Alright, that's what I mean. Last minute is usually the telling one. Let's see if we can close above this high. We closed in this volume imbalance right here. We did not manage to close above the buy side liquidity pool. And note how we opened up, also with a gap down. Unfortunately, we do not have any fair value gaps right now to work with. So yeah, from right here, we just have to watch until a nice opportunity presents itself. No need to chase anything or trying to get into a 8:30 news pump. That's not what we are after. So we see, okay, NQ also had a bullish close. We seem to be continuing higher to the upside. Like I said, here's the high of our 5-minute fair value gap. The high of the 15-minute fair value gap is sitting right here. Okay, we're continuing. The only decent entry would have been this bullish fair value gap right here on the 5, paired with the higher time frame confluence of this 15-minute bullish fair value gap that kept holding support right here after we took out the buy side right here, and also the buy side of the 3:30 p.m. high right here inside this 5-minute and 15-minute bearish fair value gap. We left behind this 15-minute bullish one, and we used this bullish fair value gap to deliver once more into buy side, and then we just have overlapping confluence. So let's see, 5-minute time frame, let's get back. I'm not dropping down on the 1 minute, it's just, yeah. I got rid of the 1 minute chart, basically. Sometimes I still drop down to it, but yeah. Good trade setups also present themselves on a 5-minute time frame. It's just a lot more chill. Less trade setups, higher quality trade setups. That's more my type of bread. All right. Let's see. So here we have the news impact. 8:35. 15-minute time frame. There's the high of that 15-minute fair value gap. If we manage to close above here on the 15-minute time frame, that's important. So if we close above it on a 5, that could be an early indication. But to confirm a potential inversion fair value gap, where we could see support from, it's quite a big one, so I would like to see some more confluence on the lower time frame, the 5-minute entry time frame, personally, before I get in long, based on a 15-minute inversion, to maybe deliver into higher discounts, such as the unfilled volume imbalance up here, or this bearish fair value gap also from the 15-minute time frame. We can also check the 1 hour to see what the 1 hour is up to. So if 9 AM manages to close above 44.32, we would also have a 1 hour inversion fair value gap right here. And why is this important? This is pretty much the fair value gap that we have used right here to deliver into the daily sell side. So really, if we would have expected short continuation to the downside, we would expect rejection here. But if we close above it, this bearish fair value gap is going to be turned into an inversion fair value gap, which we could use to, potentially target some buy-side liquidity. Turnaround first day, who knows? After clearing major sell side, been going down the whole week. Yeah, why not? I could see that happening. But the way we've been slowly creeping here to the upside, there's just too much sell side left behind in order to simply pump and continue back into buy side. So really that next proper buy side level would be right here. Which is from current prices 20 handles away. So this is the next proper buy side target. I mean, on a 15-minute time frame, we do not have anything closer to that one. But we have all this sell side left behind, which is making me, why I'm being careful right now. Buy side previous day's high, buy side above these highs. So buy side pretty far away, sell side very close to current price, relatively speaking. So let's see, I think we just had a 5-minute candle close, and note where we closed. We closed above the 5-minute bearish fair value gap, the one we used essentially to deliver into that daily sell side liquidity. So potentially we could be looking at a inversion play, but I would prefer that really to be paired with a bullish fair value gap. So what I would like to see is price to leave behind a bullish fair value gap, like this one, for example, right here, get back into it, and then we continue to trade to the upside. Right now, prices are bullish. For me, there's no reason to believe that we are going to magically dump. But I would like a bullish fair value gap right here that I could use for a entry. And once I see a candle close below it, I could already start cutting some risk. But of course, we could also simply just wick back inside of our newly formed 5-minute inversion fair value gap. And continue to extend to the upside. But I like the overlapping confluence because it's quite a big bearish fair value gap and now inversion fair value gap. So I'd like some newly formed discounts, bullish fair value gap right here, to be to use as an entry as overlapping confluence, so I do not have to place a trade pretty much like this to cover the entire inversion fair value gap. Alright, but it seems like we're not going to leave behind a bullish fair value gap. Price already has delivered efficiently. Same way here. Immediate rebalance. Low, next candle, and we pulled back to not leave behind a fair value gap. So price right here has delivered very efficiently and continued to expand to the downside. Right here, We left behind the inefficiency. We filled it now. Now we even closed above it. So all I'm going to do now is going to wait for that 5-minute candle to close. But as we can see, we pretty much did the same thing that we did right here. That immediate rebalance we just talked about here as well. So that's why I was considering taking a long off here, because yeah, all we did right here is deliver efficiently, not giving it any chance to leave behind a 5-minute fair value gap to continue to expand into buy-side liquidity. Yeah, just one of the higher risk entries, especially after 8:30 news. Right here, we continue to deliver, closed above it, inversion fair value gap. So we would look for support, but yeah, I prefer combined confluences or overlapping confluences, like for example a bullish fair value gap here. But we did not get that, but we used the inversion already. So let's just see. Here we have that 15-minute fair value gap high. The next 15-minute candle is going to close in 1.5 minutes roughly. So let's see if we can't make that last push above the 15-minute fair value gap high to maybe just maybe, yeah, have even a bigger inversion fair value gap right here. All right, let's see. Are we going to close in this volume imbalance? No bullish fair value gaps, so pretty tough spot for us to get in. Yes, like I said, we could have used the anticipatory inversion fair value gap here, but that's not my preferred setup, like I said, especially after news. "30 seconds to go. 5-minute discount, 15-minute discount. From here, our previous day's high to our low of the new day. Our 50% level is almost perfectly matching up with this 5-minute bearish fair value gap. That's interesting. Yeah, the only thing that I don't like about a potential long is that we haven't cleared sell side the entire morning. The entire London session. And just going up without ever coming back to clear some sell side liquidity. I mean, yes, we did it on NQ, and potentially we could have used that for SMT divergence. But yeah, we didn't really do that on ES, so plenty of sell side left behind for a quick stop hunt. Alright, so we closed above the volume imbalance, unfortunately not leaving behind a 5-minute fair value gap. Let's check on the free, right here. If we would have went down to the 3-minute time frame, which is not really my approach, because yeah, if you want to find a fair value gap, you're eventually gonna find one. I'm just sticking to the 5 and 15-minute time frame, yeah, because that's more doable for me. If I want to find a fair value gap in here, I can find one. I can drop down to the 1 or 2 or 3-minute time frame and essentially find one, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'd like to trade off the 5-minute using the 15-minute time frame as my higher time frame confluence. Time is 8:45, so yeah. Are there any questions? Otherwise, I'm just going to be not going to be talking that much, because if there's not much to talk about, yeah, I can't talk that much. Makes sense. Let me check something here. No, that should be fine. Open up Discord again and see how we're going to continue here. We close above the volume imbalance. You can use volume imbalances the same way as you would use a fair value gap. So we just closed above the bearish fair value gap in a sense right here. We closed above it. Now we would expect support from it to extend back into buy side. And so far we've been doing pretty much that. Nine AM, 9:30, 10. Let's check out what NQ is up to. NQ left behind a nice little fair value gap right here on the 5 at 8:30 and used it to deliver back up higher, but also hasn't made it above the 8:35 high. I'm not going to check YM because I've been trading YM during the London kill zone this morning, and yeah, really it's starting to do its own thing again. So yeah, they're not moving together. And ES and NQ do. They're still pretty similar, but yeah, YM is just right now doing its own thing. So there's not much point in comparing the two, or the three. Yeah, and for a potential entry here, I mean, yes, we could drop it down maybe to a 3-minute time frame to see. Okay, that's our most recent 3-minute fair value gap. Maybe we can drop it down to the 2 to see if we've got something in there. Nope. No fair value gap on a 3-minute time frame. Yeah, let's just drop it down to the 1 and see. 1-minute time frame. Also no fair value gap. Of course, yeah, we had a fair value gap right here and right here, which we've perhaps used as a inversion on the 1 minute. But yeah, now we're going to stick to the 5. Because I also want to teach something that's tradable for all the viewers. If I do 1 minute stuff, there's just too much, and especially for beginners, it's too triggering. Same happened with me, so there's a reason why I'm sticking to the 5-minute time frame, because it just makes, yeah, the trading process a lot easier and a lot more calm. But once you mastered the 5 or 15-minute time frame, of course you can drop it back down to the 1-minute time frame to, once you mastered the skill, basically, to, yeah, make profits more quickly, even though that really shouldn't be the goal. And if you can already do it on a 5-minute time frame, why not keep on doing that? But most traders start from the lower time frames and eventually end up starting to pass their fun account challenges on the higher time frames. So why not learn from that and actually, yeah, begin from the higher time frames and then start dropping down if you still feel the need to. Alright, let's see. Any new YouTube comments? Nope. That's the New York session results so far from all the tape reading trades that I took on our live stream. So far we had 36 trades. We're up 4.41%. Equity curve is also looking pretty nice. Here we had I made a little mistake, not we, which led to a steep drop. But yeah, we made it back very quickly. And so far we've just been hanging in there. We had a market structure shift right here, but this was just a little fake out. Here, high, higher low, higher high, market structure shift. But we eventually kept moving to the upside. So now we have, how much left? This year. We actually made more again. 57 trades on live streams already. We're up 5.58% and have a win rate of around 50%, which is not too bad. It's a little bit of a lower win rate because we are testing to see if fair value gaps hold. If they do hold, yeah, we make profit. If they do not hold, we have relatively small losers. So yeah, if we take a look at all the losing trades, we have 30 bucks, 53. Here that was a little bit bigger one. Same for this one. But those ones, I just put them in there because I took maybe 3 or 4 trades and I put them in as one. But yeah, most of the time, 70, 80 bucks, 50 bucks, smaller losses compared to the wins. Because let's say we would have had a bullish fair value gap right here, and we would have gotten in long on that, and we would have seen the candle closing 2 ticks below that bullish fair value gap, I would already cut the position with, or close the position with maybe 25 or 50 bucks loss. That's where the 50% win rate comes from. Because I'm just testing to see if it works out. And with that active risk management approach, I rarely have any downside. That's the third Apex that I purchased, I think, in July. And during August, so far we're 2 weeks in, I already passed 2 Apex accounts, 1 Topstep account. The third one is about to be passed, 250 bucks left. Hang on. That's the last one I passed. Very similar equity curve, so same for this one. 46% win rate, 58% win rate. Yeah, so little break in between. ES still hasn't changed. We left behind equal highs. We keep holding support on that volume imbalance right here. We closed above it, and from there on, we never closed back below it. That's the same, yeah, that's pretty much what we would expect from a bearish fair value gap that has now been flipped into support. So once we close above it, ideally we would like to see no close back below it if we want to, yeah, continue to deliver higher. And once again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Then I have more to talk about. And you get your questions answered. Yes, now I'm back from a little vacation. I was visiting a friend on Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday I got back to the office and we had I think a 30-minute live stream yesterday, also starting out at 8 a.m. where we pretty much targeted those equal lows right here. Got in short of this fair value gap for a quick 5 handles. And that's usually all I'm doing. If I'm streaming live, once we secure our 5-handle target, I'm ending the live stream and I'm just going to, yeah, call it a day or trade a different account, but not on live stream anymore. Because I want to teach also a good practice. If I'm sitting here and take 10 trades in a row and manage to get back at break even, or after a big drawdown to get back up into profit, that's not really what I want to, the values I want to teach. Secure your profits, get out and get on with life. No worries. See you later. So after closing above this volume imbalance, we keep holding support to eventually now deliver into that buy side. But it's just not I think I would grade a volume imbalance inversion as a C setup, and I would prefer to only take at least a B plus or a B setup. In terms of grading your trades or your setups, this would be a C type of setup for me personally. It is 8:55 as well. So with that next 5-minute candle, we have a new hourly opening. So a new hourly candle is going to open up on the hourly time frame. We are very likely going to close above our bearish fair value gap for the first time today. So yeah, we have some room to retrace into the 1 hour inversion basically. And the next discount would have been this 15-minute unfilled volume imbalance. And it's also unfilled on the 1 hour. So yeah, I actually believe that we do have some reason to expand a little bit higher. And we've got rejected once more. 50 seconds to go. How's everyone doing who's watching on YouTube? If you want to, pretty much sit in with me without any delay. I think YouTube is lagging behind around 20 seconds. Later, if we get busy, if we do not get a trade before 9:30, I will be streaming through 9:30. And if you do not want to experience any delay, simply click on this link right here. Then you can join the Discord server. And inside of the VIP only section, which is going to stay open for a little bit longer, you can watch the stream without any delay. Alright, so now we have 3 equal highs right here. We just keep on consolidating. Let's see if we can still manage to use this volume imbalance as support. If we close below it, this would just confirm the consolidation up here. But if we use it and hold it as support, that would be preferred. So let's see what's NQ up to. Nothing we would like to trade. So the new hourly candle opened up right here. We leave behind a 15-minute bullish fair value gap right here. That's pretty much what I have been looking for, to be honest. If we want to continue higher, I would expect this one to hold support. And for a logical retracement, I would be drawing up the quarterly ranges. Hang on. Drop it back down to a 5-minute time frame and see what we're working with. Because on a 5-minute time frame, we already have no fair value gaps at all. So for a nice entry, really, what I would like to see, since now the New York Open is only 30 minutes away, my target would just be this buy side. And how could we deliver in there? Using that 15-minute bullish fair value gap right here. Maybe an entry of the 50%. Target 4 handles. Stop 4 handles. Let's do that. That's the best opportunity at hand right now, because if we continue to expand into more buy side, like we have been doing all this entire morning, starting from the early London session, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, we should theoretically continue, and that's all I'm expecting here. And once I see a 15-minute candle close below that, I'm simply going to exit the position, entering at the consequent encouragement of this bullish fair value gap.
Order filled.
So we've been filled. Tapped into our position. We could target 5, which would just, no, let's keep it at 4 handles. Keep it simple. And yeah, so basically if we manage to, first of all, now we did not close above the 15-minute bearish fair value gap, but we closed above the 5-minute. So this is a inversion paired with a 15-minute bullish fair value gap. So we have some sort of overlapping confluence. That's what I wanted to look for earlier on the 5-minute time frame right here. So yeah, really, because we do not have anything on the 5-minute we could reference, I'm just going to stick to the 15. But we had a 3-minute fair value gap right here, which has pretty been the only one. So yeah, let's just use that and see. We cleared a short-term low right here, some sell side. Let's see if that can hold. 5-minute. 15-minute. Go back up there. Right, so we already repriced in that entire fair value gap. No, we didn't yet. That's a 3-minute. Here we would form immediate rebalance. No, not immediate rebalance. Buy side above here. Let's check out what NQ is up to. Also doing a very similar type of retracement. So now we filled the 15-minute bullish fair value gap to the tick. So theoretically, at this point in time, price has delivered efficiently. So from here, unless we are going to start shifting market structure very soon and actually target sell side here, and sell side there, we would expect this simply to continue off that 15-minute bullish fair value gap. If we manage to close below it in 10 minutes, I'm going to close the position with minimal drawdown. And yeah, then it's pretty much to close before the New York Stock Exchange opens up. So yeah, I wouldn't take a short, or maybe I would, of the inversion right here. Because yeah, then the bullish fair value gap didn't do what it is supposed to do, offering support. We close below it. We can use it as resistance then for the inversion into potential sell side during the New York Open. And yeah, see how we continue from there. Wicks do the damage. That's why I have a little bit bigger stop loss. And we still have 10 minutes left, so let's just wait and see. Yes, a close below the fair value gap is what I use for the invalidations or validations. Wicks do the damage. We could easily get a wick down till here over the next 10 minutes. And yeah, still close where we are at right now. So in that sense, the fair value gap still kept on holding. So a good example for that would have been during the London session earlier this morning, where I based my long idea from. So if we look at this 15-minute fair value gap right here, we can see that on a 5-minute time frame, where are we at? We closed below it, and we also closed below this bullish fair value gap, this bullish fair value gap. We kept on holding right here, but yeah, I was watching the higher time frame fair value gap, and on the 5-minute time frame we closed below it, yes, but during that last 5-minute candle of that 15-minute candle, yeah, we had this push back up, so it kept on holding. Wicks to the damage, yes. So yeah, we could expect the same thing here, or we just take a small little loss. And I'm also fine with that. Yes, just hitting the highs. I'm not really looking for 5 handles on this one. Just getting in and yeah, trying to secure as quickly as possible prior to the New York Open at 9:30. And since we've been putting higher highs and higher lows in place the entire morning, I would expect it to simply continue off that 15-minute discount paired with the 5-minute inversion, which would be sitting right here. Close above it, we have our 15-minute confluence. With this bullish fair value gap, not on the 5, on a 5-minute time frame, everything has been priced in, yeah, just fine. So yeah, let's see. 4-handle stop loss, that's not too bad. To 12:15 a.m. 12:15 a.m. Which one do you mean, actually? 12:15 a.m. So just after midnight, this tiny little one. This one. Ah, okay. That's not 12:15 for me, maybe your time zone. I'm always referencing at a UTC -4. So yeah, we should see support from here as well. So now we're actually below our 15-minute. But like I said, we still have... let's go back to the 15. As long as we do not close it in on the 15 or close below it, like we are right, like we would be doing right now, we're fine. Then we would just be sitting through time distortion on a 5-minute time frame. We're pretty much waiting for the 15-minute candle to close before we likely continue into buy side. I usually don't really take 15-minute setups, especially with minis on that 50k account. But for the sake of the live stream, I'm going to do it. And also for, yeah, own practice. Because, yeah, usually if we're on the 5, we get our confirmation a lot quicker. Waiting 15 minutes just for the candle to close is a little bit too long for my liking, personally. But it's still alright. I mean, we do not have anything better than it on the 5-minute time frame. So yeah, our best bet would have been the 15-minute bullish fair value gap. We did not leave behind any fair value gaps in here. That's our most recent 5-minute fair value gap. So yeah, that's the reason why we're just going to stick to the 15 now. Equal highs, buy side above. What's that? RSI being oversold. Yeah, I can imagine that after going up the entire day. Nice. Let's see how the trade plays out then. But I'm more than certain out if we, yeah, close below the fair value gap in 3.5 minutes. Preferably, if I could choose, I would like to see a close above the 50% of that bullish fair value gap. If I could choose. So, guys, buy it up. I'm calling this patience training. Because I'm also coming from a 1-minute time frame scalping background, especially on ES. But I really found long-term consistency and profitability a lot easier on the higher time frames. But yeah, because I've been doing 1-minute time frame scalping for quite a long time, it's not the easiest thing for me to sit here for 15 minutes waiting for a single candle to close. usually I would have had 15 times the amount of information on a 1 minute time frame. So if you do not have lots of patience, going to higher time frames is the perfect training for you. I bet some people, if they enter on this bullish fair value gap and they see that price is going below that, without even waiting for the candle to close, they already get too scared, and because they see red numbers and they get out, and yeah. Then they're mad because they had a retracement, they get back in at a worse price, and yeah. That little vicious circle is going to eventually end to a blown account. We've all been there, we've all done that. Just gotta make sure we're not gonna do it again. So far I like what I see. We're left behind this bullish fair value gap, the 8:30 bullish fair value gap on the 15 minute. We have 1.5 minutes to go. Unless we close below it right now, I'm happy with the long. And if we close below it, I'm also glad, because I don't have to hold a trade through the New York Open. But as long as we hold it, I also do not have any problems holding it through New York Open. Last 1 minute candle of the 5 and 15 minute candle. And like I said earlier, that's usually the that 1 minute that's really telling. I mean, we've been sitting here for 15 minutes now almost, watching this candle go up and down and up and down, and all of that doesn't really matter at all. Only the close matters, so you could be coming back only during that last minute of that 15 or 5 minute candle. It's easy on a 15, on a 5 it's not really worth it to see how the candle closed, and everything in between that is pretty much not relevant, to be honest. 15 seconds to go. And of course, none of this is financial advice. Okay, so we closed below 50%. We were close. As long as we keep on holding that bullish fair value gap, I have no worries. It's 9:15, so that next 15-minute opening is going to be the 9:30 open. So yeah, for the sake of the live stream, I think I'm going to hold through that. So let me check on the 5-minute time frame if we have anything new. So now we have a new fair value gap right here and there, a bearish one. Let me get rid of that. That's the 15. Here we have a new 5-minute bearish fair value gap. And ideally we would like to keep on tracking on the 5 now, see a close above this 5-minute bearish fair value gap, use it as inversion to deliver into our buy side target. It is 9:15. I would like to have a 5-minute fair value gap somewhere inside this area. But yeah, really there's no option for me. We could look at this at a balanced price range, a BPR, because price has been delivered very efficiently. During this entire period, we only left behind 2 inefficiencies in form of a fair value gap. So yeah, really. 15-minute, let's check the 1 hour here. Immediate rebalance on the 1 hour. We just ticked inside of this 1 hour volume imbalance, so this could also be holding potential support. Going to draw this in. drop it back down to the 15. Do we have that same volume imbalance there? No, we do not. On the 15, that has been closed in. Let's see, we continue watching it on a 5-minute time frame. Even on the 5-minute, we never closed below the 15-minute bullish fair value gap. But if I see prices going into this bearish fair value gap and we're rejecting of it, I'm fine with closing prior to the New York Open with a little bit of drawdown. Let me check if there are any new messages on YouTube. Guten Morgen, Fabi. Good morning in the morning. Or in the afternoon. Or wherever you currently watch this from. So. Not a helpful tip if you struggle with like seeing your red and green numbers the entire morning, or while you're in that trade, you can simply go to ticks or percentage. Let's use ticks. Be a good role model, because we do not care about the money. So pretty much prior to the New York Open, which is going to open up right here, so it's not that far away anymore. So now we're inside this bearish fair value gap. What I would like to see in order for this trade to play out is a close above this bearish fair value gap. We use it as support and continue to deliver into that buy side. If I now see that this bearish fair value gap is being used as resistance, and we start to go lower than this candle, I'm going to exit the position prior to the New York Open, because I'm not a fan of holding trades through too much drawdown. So I'm going to actually move my sell stop below this low. You can place it one tick below that low, but yeah, really, that's my idea. That's what I would like to see prior to the New York Open. And if we go back below this low, using this bearish fair value gap as resistance to deliver into that low, yeah, that's what I would not want to see. And that's the reason why I'm moving my stop loss. So let's go back to the 15. We're almost back to the high of that 15. So we just efficiently repriced in this bearish candle, so we do not leave behind a potential bearish fair value gap here. We filled in the 15-minute bullish one. So really there's no real reason why we should go lower than this low. We touched a 1-hour bullish volume imbalance. We repriced a 15-minute bullish fair value gap. Yeah, the only thing would be this 5-minute bearish fair value gap, which we would not like to see acting as resistance. Just as a safety measure before the New York Open in 9 minutes actually. Same fair value gap on a 2-minute time frame. 1-minute time frame. Let's take a look. Bullish fair value gap here that has been filled, overlapping with our hourly volume imbalance. $4,434. Yes, that's what I'm looking for pretty much as well. Over 4434, which is that 15-minute bullish fair value gap. 4464, 4464, okay. So you're looking pretty much at 4464. Interesting. So pretty much the previous day's high. So far we've been using that bearish fair value gap as it's intended. So yeah, I'm fine with being stopped out down here. I do not have an issue with that. Still, I would prefer this to be used as inversion. If you do not use it as inversion and we keep using it as resistance. Okay, you've been trading trend lines, interesting. But yeah, you can still combine the two, like terms of confluence. All right. The inversion fair value gap, all it really is a bearish fair value gap that should have been used or had offered resistance. We close above it, so now we look for support. It's also, I've been using it for 4 to 5 months now. Prior to that, I also never looked at inversion fair value gaps, but they are a charm and they really do work well, especially with overlapping confluence. Let's say we have a 5-minute inversion and now we have a 5-minute bullish fair value gap overlapping with that inversion. So now you already have a double confluence that we could continue to the upside from, let's say, for example, this old bearish fair value gap, because theoretically we shouldn't have closed above that and continue lower from here. We're still inside that 15-minute bearish fair value gap that we could use to deliver into order sell side. That's the 15-minute bearish fair value gap. But yeah, really all it is just a flipped fair value gap that didn't do what it was, that didn't do what it was supposed to do. Either hold support or resistance. So that's exactly what I would have not liked to see. I'm going to close the position with 5 ticks drawdown.
Order filled.
I'm fine with that. I can already see how price is going below this low now. I'm fine with that. It's 925, so screw it. Even if I would have waited for this candle, very likely the New York Open is going to clear this low. And yeah. So this is just a little safety measure prior to the New York Open. We're gonna find a better setup after it. And of course, we're gonna watch the 15-minute time frame now, because if we close below this old bullish fair value gap, I would look forward to use it as potential inversion to target sell side. But as long as we do not have the 15-minute confirmation, I can't do much. So yeah, we would have been tapped. My stop loss was right at this low. Would have been stopped out right here. And even if we move 100,000 ticks to the upside now, I don't really care. I'm glad that I got out with 5 tick stop loss. That's manageable. We have 3 minutes left, so ES1, we went long. Let's add our screenshot in here. We went in with 1 contract. It's the apex number 3. Setup pattern would be we used a inversion fair value gap paired with a bullish fair value gap on a 15-minute time frame. Early exit. Tape reading. Yeah, that should be fine. New York. Add trade. And now we just have to find out how much money. 5 times 12.5, that should be 75 bucks. 62.5. Number 3, there we go. Yeah, 100%. It's a New York Open. New York Open can be pretty volatile. I wouldn't be surprised if we dump in order to pump, clear some quick sell side, even if it's just this low or those relative equal lows, or even dump it down to this low. Yeah, I wouldn't like to hold through it, and this way I cut risk at the smartest level personally. Of course, one tick below the slow, I would still be in, but come on, really, why not close the trade when you already think it's not going to play out instead of waiting for your stop loss to be hit? Do you really think that New York Open is going to magically hold this level? Of course, chance is there, but yeah, it's pretty much like hitting a, I don't know, jackpot in a casino. But we're still holding that. There we go. Haha. Yeah. Agent Smith, you're hitting that jackpot. Well done, mate. But this doesn't mean we can't participate. So let's wait for that last 30 seconds before we... Yeah, we're okay with micros, that's fair. So we got back into that bearish fair value gap. Let's not get too excited. Equal lows below, bearish fair value gap. We cleared a short-term high. Consolidation prior to the open. So on the 15-minute time frame, the only important thing is that we kept on holding that 15. But in order to use it now, what I would like to see is a close above that 5-minute bearish fair value gap to use it as inversion to go long. But that only works if that 930 candle is not going to, pretty much close somewhere up here. Then we're not going to use this inversion. But if it's a, let's say, acceptable 5-minute candle, nice, well done. Yeah, I'm pretty confident or pretty chill if it's holding through the London Open on ES during the London kill zone pretty much, like this morning. But the New York Open is just a little bit too volatile for my liking. I mean, that's when the stocks can be publicly traded. All the volume hits the market, so yeah, let's just see how this candle is going to close. And we deliver lower. Yep. Third equal low. So now we cleared a quick short-term low, or equal lows basically. Very short term. On a 1 minute time frame, that would make more sense. Yeah, and this wick could have easily continued to, for example, take out these lows or these relative equal lows and still manage to close above here. That's just the unpredictability, really. Not of the candle itself, or not really that it's not predictable, but the level of volatility of the wicks is pretty unpredictable, at least during the 9:30 New York Open. And that's what I don't like. That's why I prefer to cut risk at a acceptable point and yeah, leave it at that. Because there's gonna be a better opportunity than this little setup. This long of the 15-minute inversion paired with 5-minute blah 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 after 9:30. So nothing to worry about. Cut risk and trade to live another day. Live to trade another day. Not trade to live another day. Alright, it's 9:30. Let's never actually check the 30-minute time frame. And I don't think I will add it. Otherwise it's going to be just too much. So what I would like to see now during that last minute of that 5-minute candle is ideally a close above this bearish fair value gap. This would really be the confirmation for me that we are going to extend or continue to deliver into buy side. But if we do not do that, we're just gonna sit and wait for now, I'd say. As long as we're still inside of this consolidation, yes, we use the bearish fair value gap as resistance, wicks to the damage. But everyone who maybe got in on that 5-minute bearish fair value gap should be fine with a stop 1 tick above the candle's high of the candle that created the fair value gap. But yeah, what I could see happening would be a dump in order to pump. Yeah, you got stopped out, but that's only 12 bucks, so it's not too bad if you think about it. For me, if I would have waited for the close below on the 15, would already be down a couple $100 now. So this way I'm just down 60. Yeah, 60. I'm fine with that. Saves me a lot of headspace and mental capacity prior to the 9:30 open to pretty much use it. So look at that. We just touched the 8:30 opening level. And we get a immediate bullish reaction of it. If we would have a bearish fair value gap or an inversion fair value gap here on the 5, I would use that for a potential short. But yeah, I would have to wait for the 15-minute to close below the bullish fair value gap to confidently short it off the inversion, maybe paired with a bearish fair value gap on the 5. But since we didn't close below it on my higher time frame, at least the one that I use, the 15-minute, I'm not confident in shorting this. As we can see, this wick is still playing around. We could still hold this very easily and extend into all the buy side we have left. 1 mini. Fair enough. Yeah, and the second you're starting to be unsure of what it's going to do, best thing you can do is doing nothing. And that's also a skill. That's the way, Agent Smith. Where's my sound? Oh no, I can't do sounds in here. You closed 160. Yeah, fair. I see. So you've been long for quite some time then, or? I also could have secured more profits on my long here earlier during London, but yeah, well, I didn't. And my fault, especially during August when, yeah, most people say that price isn't doing too much. Even though I don't really agree with that. I'm doing very well with targeting 5 handles. And 5 handles are pretty easy to catch. Pretty high win rate, very easy to catch. Why go for more if you're already profitable going for 5? And actively managing your risk like here, because that's our profession. We manage risk. And if you feel like the risk you put yourself into is too high, especially prior to a 9:30 open, well, you know what you should do. You might not act on it, but you know what you should do at least. Alright, last minute of that 5-minute candle. Let me check the 1-minute time frame to see if we had a beautiful opportunity there. No, not if you ask me. So let's see if we can get that Judas swing to the downside. Market structure shift level really would be right here for the 5-minute for all the reversal traders out there. So we just touched that sell side. I'm curious to see if we can close below that 8:30 level, or if we keep on closing above it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We managed to close right on it. Random? Not really if you ask me. But maybe if you ask someone else. And that's why I only focus on ES, because ES is the entire approach that I'm using with inversions and fair value gaps, candle close above and below, works super well with ES because it's so precise. With NQ is a little bit too aggressive and moving too quickly rather. So yeah, it's not working that well on NQ. But it doesn't have to. I'm more than busy just focusing on ES. If I would always have to check 2 charts and look at that. So NQ is already leading here. So NQ already took sell side below the slope. So we have some more SMT once again. So ES is actually lagging behind a little bit. NQ already sold off right after the open. Let's see. A short towards the midnight, fill in this unfilled fair value gap. Likely, but in order to do that, I would like to see, or I would like us to use the 15-minute inversion, which would be sitting right up here. We theoretically did it, yes, but we did not close below it on the 15, and that's the only issue I have. And I do not try to force a trade just to be in a trade, because this last 5-minute candle could easily go back above here and still close inside of the 15-minute bullish fair value gap. And that would just be the 15-minute volatility that you would have to account for if you enter into that bullish fair value gap prior to the 9:30 open. So like right here, now we're back in it, and we went 3.75 handles. That's not the worst from the low of the fair value gap. But if you got in like me at around the 50% level, that's 5 handles. You don't have to endure it because that could have easily went lower. But as long as we're holding this with the bodies, that's all I'm looking for. Wicks do the damage. And bodies tell the story. A tail by ICT trader. So we keep holding that 830. Leave behind equal lows. We could use that to eventually deliver into some buy side. Let me check that 1 minute. 1, 2, 3 equal lows. Didn't clear a short-term low other than this one. We have 2 minutes left on our 5-minute time frame. So if this candle is a massive up-close candle and we manage to close above our bearish value gap, this one here from 9 AM pretty much, I'm happy to take a long of that. Thunder and rain outside. Nice. Okay, so now we're in that last 1 minute candle. We see we're pretty volatile. So we get back up all the way into here. And then we drop back down here. So we wait for that last 1 minute to see, how it's going to play out. Where we're going to close. If we close below 4431.5, I could see myself using that as a potential inversion. Even though my stop loss, it's not ideal, let's say it like that. Even though we close below the 15, we do not have a 15-minute bearish value gap paired with it. But yeah, let's see. Let's see what we can work with, really. But I stick to the 5 right here. Looks like we're gonna close below. Ten seconds to go. Just cleared that sell side. That's the first sell side level right here. I feel like taking something pretty risky. Immediate rebalance right here. So equal lows. We open up. We just retested this low and very likely going to continue into sell side now. I'm trying to get in on a potential inversion to handle stop loss. But only if we get back into that. So right here, as you can see, price perfectly rebalanced this bearish down closing candle. We do not leave, or we do not give a fair value gap even a chance to be created. This candle's low, this candle's high, paired with those equal lows. That's just perfect price delivery, perfect efficient price delivery into our next sell side target. So in that scenario, price is just moving a little bit too quick. Quickly check the 15. So the 15 closed well below the inversion. Market structure shift on the 15-minute time frame, very likely going to leave behind a big 15-minute fair value gap, which is overlapping with this one, but therefore we need that next 15-minute candle to close. We're just going to stick to 5 and see if we can't short off that inversion. Because this fair value gap is a fair value gap with, let's say I would put more weight on this fair value gap because we've been holding support once, twice. So I would give this fair value gap more weight than a fair value gap that has not been respected. We close below it. I look for the inversion. Unfortunately, we just did the immediate rebalance. This was enough to deliver lower. So what I would expect now is a quick stop hunt to, yeah, just quickly liquidate all the long positions that are in profit since pretty much late Asian session. Five handles would deliver us perfectly to that midnight open. Unfilled gap. Now, even on the 1 minute time frame, no proper entry if you ask me. Check out where NQ is. NQ already cleared the 4 a.m. low. 4 a.m. low on ES would be relative to this low right here. So there is bullish SMT divergence. Just want to put it out there. Ten minutes for the 15-minute candle. 5-minute candle closed, open up with a bullish gap to the upside. So let's say, yeah, let's just wait. So if we want to efficiently deliver in or price in this candle, price would retrace up to this level and continue to expand lower. Same way like we did right here. Or we could use this potential inversion to deliver lower into more sell side.
Order filled.
Rather aggressively. So let's just see. We filled in the inversion. Close above it would be invalidation for me really already. This is rather aggressive. A riskier entry. My buy limit is going to sit right here. 5 handles. If we continue and do the same thing that we did on NQ, we should easily deliver into this discount. So yeah, my target's simply going to be the high of that, which is perfectly aligned with the midnight open level. Perfect 5 handles for me. So let's see. Any questions on YouTube? Nope. Let's see what NQ is doing at the same time. NQ is pretty much leading here the entire morning. Sharp sell-off. We should see that same thing on ES. Waiting for this candle to close. Once we clear that sell side, I would be pretty confident in placing my stop above this high. but only if we clear it on this 500 candle. And there we cleared. So if I would be in, let's say I would be trading this with a 150k account, and I would be, let's say, able to take on more risk, I would take a first partial here, because that's already 3.25 handles. That's more than enough for the first partial. Next partial on that next sell side level. That's my ideal profit target. That's what I'm looking for with that single contract move. But if I would be if I would be trading this with a bigger account, I would also be entering with more risk, so basically more contracts, then I would be able to take partials. So now you might be asking, why don't I trade micros? Because micros aren't as precise as minis are. Simple. And I'm during New York session, most of the time it's just 1 or 2 contracts that I'm actively trading, but it's fine with me, really. I don't mind being in with one contract, not being able to take partials. It's fine with me. But I just know that trading a bigger account also has more advantages, especially trading a more volatile New York session. During London, you're fine with a 50k account trading ES1. But that's all up to your own tolerance of how much you can afford to risk, or yeah, just your personality, really. Some people perform much better with higher risk, some people don't. And that's just the way it is. Just the way it is. Take profit. Hit. Done.
Order filled.
Out. Nice. 5 handles. You do not need more. Now we have a unfilled bullish fair value gap here, paired with that midnight level. With our target. Nice. I could care less if we, now deliver into the lowest low right here. I really could care less. Let's see. Okay. I forgot about that. I could have stayed on the trade because now only 90 bucks are left. That would be 1 handle. Nah, come on. That's bullshit. That's honestly bullshit. Nah, it doesn't matter. 6 handles would have been, challenge passed. Fair enough. Doesn't matter. Let me just journal that quickly. What we close below New York midnight, we get back, retest the potential inversion, and where do we reject from? New York midnight to quickly expand into more sell side. Nice. Nice. Alright, it's also a good habit to, once you had a winning trade, first of all, do your journal, fill out your journal, give it a little bit of time before you consider even entering into the next trade, because you're very likely to do that after a winner. So, journal, because it's important, and give yourself a little bit of time before you look at the next best entry opportunity. We had a 500 best trade setup. We used a inversion fair value gap. We had a market structure shift. We've done tape reading. I'd label this as a SilverBullet continuation. Yep. Session, New York session. 250 bucks, 5 handles, 1 contract. Add trade. Nice. Well, now you would be glad that we're out. Be content with enough, even though we hit 8 handles. I forgot that I'm super close on passing this account. Otherwise I would have waited until I hit 53k, but yeah, that's alright. That's Bento Book. That's exclusive currently to Accumulation Zone community members. If you head over to the indicator chat on our Discord, we have a community member. His name is Y2K Fury, and he's a developer, and he started to he joined my community, and then he was looking pretty much for beta testers and like people testing his platform out, Bento Book. And then I started working together with him to pretty much create a very unique trading journal, and that's how far we've come so far. So I did the trade gallery thing, or I came up with the idea. So you can actually, with most journals, you do not get this feature of a gallery view where you can set a filter for specific setups. So let's say, for example, all fair value gap setups, you can go through that. Your notes, this was, for example, a trade where I passed a Apex account. You can simply click through that. Nice little feature. Yeah, and you can test it for free. That's another good thing about it, if you're part of our community. bentobook.io. Just don't share it with the word, because that would be unfair to the developer. Alright, so we tap back into our inversion right up here. Nice, nice, nice. So we cleared the sell side. Let me actually continue drawing all that in. Sell side taken. We took that sell side, closed below. So yeah, let's just wait for this 5-minute candle to close, really. If we look at the 15, we get a candle close also within the next 45 minutes, leaving behind a new big 15-minute bearish fair value gap after shifting market structure. This would inevitably be your 2022 model. Market structure shift, displacement, bearish fair value gap, short continuation into sell side. But before I would do that, I would check on NQ, because NQ is currently the weaker of both of them. Let's say NQ would have already cleared the Asian session low, and we would have pretty strong bullish SMT divergence. I would consider long small. Which prop firms do I use? So currently I'm funded with Apex and Topstep. Topstep I'm currently using for the Scalper Pro strategy that I'm doing during the London kill zone. And I've got so far 4 funded accounts with Apex. That's the 5th one that I'm about to pass with the next $100 pretty much. And I'm also looking into Take Profit Trader, but all the firms that I'm funded with and that I'm confident that they are solid firms with pretty good payout rules and everything are also inside of the Discord with futures funding. I have a $50 discount with Topstep. And yeah, I'm also looking into Take Profit Trader. I've been with them before, but I switched over to Apex. Reason, I don't remember. I think because it was cheaper. But yeah, Take Profit Trader is also a pretty solid prop firm, especially in the future space. And the good thing about it is that you can reset your pro account. So if you're funded, you can reset that funded account here. Once you prove yourself by passing a test, we will not make you go back to the test if you stumble in your pro account. We give you the opportunity to reset your pro account up to 3 times. Might be a little bit more expensive, but... And yeah, so Take Profit Trader. You don't have contracts limits, and you have 0 minimum days until your first withdrawal. So other firms have a minimum amount of days before you can take withdrawals on top of their long evaluation process. At Take Profit Trader, you can withdraw profits on the first day from your pro account, add in your 10-day test, and you have your withdrawal within 12 days of starting your test. That's really the thing I like about Take Profit Trader. You can get your first payout immediately. With Apex and my funded accounts, there's pretty much a hidden phase 2, because before you get your payout, you have to, on that 50K account, for example, you have to get your balance back above 52,200. So really, between Apex, Topstep, and Take Profit Trader, Apex is the hardest challenge. It's the cheapest one, but until you get paid out, it's actually the hardest one. Why? Because there's a secret or a hidden phase 2 really before you get paid out. You don't have that with Take Profit Trader because you pass your test within 10 days. You can get paid out on the 12th date or on that 12th day because it's a one-step challenge, same as Apex, same as Topstep, but there are no payout rules after that. You can just request your payout the same way you would do it with a Forex funding firm. But with Apex, you pretty much have to reach that 52,200 account balance before you can withdraw 50% of that. So theoretically, that's a hidden phase 2 because you could still fail until you even make it to a payout. You could be up $500 and then blow your account, and with Take Profit Trader, you could pay out those 500. Topstep is sort of in the middle between Apex and Take Profit payout once you've been funded, because you need 5 green trading days on a 50K account. That's $200. So if you make $200, the trading day on that account counts as a green day basically, and you can get a payout of 50% of your account balance after 5 green $200 minimum profit trading days. And yeah, it's better than Apex because you can get paid out quicker, and that's really what you want. And you can get paid out weekly. So after every 5 trading days, you can get green profitable trading days with $200 of profit. You can get paid out. So you can get weekly payouts with Topstep, instant payouts with Take Profit Trader, but also not every day. I think you can do them weekly or also bi-weekly. And with Apex, yeah, theoretically it's the hardest, but it's also the cheapest and best for practice in my opinion. So little X-course on future funding firms. So I also looked into Trade Day because I know you, Agent Smith, you're trading with them. So yeah, really, I looked in. Hang on, what's that? Want a free pro account? Why not? Yes, I want a pro account. Easy. Another futures funding firm would be Trade Day. I looked into them, but I couldn't find much about their payout policy. That's really what it comes down to, because passing the challenge is not... Once you get to that level, it's easy. Getting the payouts, that's why you shouldn't go for the cheapest one. You should go for the one with that best payout policy. Because once you get your payout, your initial investment for that account is going to be, yeah, very small compared to your payout. So it doesn't really matter how much you spend in the beginning, especially once you know how your system or how you self work. So yeah, really you want to go for the prop firm with the best payout rules. And in my opinion, that's Take Profit Trader at the moment. Topstep is still awesome. And then Apex, so it would be Apex, Topstep, and Take Profit Trader because of that 0 minimum days until first withdrawal. Let me quickly check here to see what their payout. A membership fee. Oh, hey, come on. They ask questions for like traders that haven't traded a single month. Do you guarantee success? Yeah, come on. That's not a question that you want to put on your website. Hang on, trading advice, FAQs. Yes, it's in terms of payouts, it's Take Profit Trader because you have a 0 minimum day withdrawal. So once you're funded, you can get funded in 5 days. And hang on, let me make sense of it again. So you can get funded after 5 days. you have to reach a $3,000 profit target on a 50K account. And once you pay the fee of $130, you have your pro account. First of all, you can reset your pro account. So if you fail the challenge, you do not have to go back to a evaluation like you have to do with Topstep and Apex. You can reset it up to 3 times. So if you blow your account, you can still reset the funded account. And yeah, you can withdraw your profits immediately. Let's say on Wednesday you pass, on Friday you get your funded account, you make $250, you can pay out those $250 and you are back at break even. And so take profit as rank number 1, then there would be Topstep, and then there's Apex. Hang on. It's raining out of buckets outside. Let me... what products can I trade? So 10 minimum trading days for funded traders. Okay, that's the question. Agent Smith, are you still with us? If so, what's the trade day payout policy?
Hey, I'm not sure. Can you hear me? You there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, let me PA method. Let's see here. No, that's just it. Learn how to get paid.
Just closing my windows because it's raining like hell outside. Yep.
Okay. Deal, DEEL.
Yeah, I would like to know. So once you're
Here
funded
we
with
go.
trade day, do you have a minimum amount of trading days before you can get your payout?
Here, let me, here's the video. I don't recall. You're talking about Apex, right?
No, I'm talking about trade day.
Oh, shoot. Give me a minute. And my computer's running really slow. It's irritating. Oops. I'm gonna need to reboot my computer. Ah. See resources.
All right, so since we hit our 500 target, there's really not... I mean, yes, we have that 15-minute bearish fair value gap. This would be really what I'd be looking forward to see here on ES, because NQ is still weak, while ES is doing all this weakening, being rather volatile. So, yeah, best trade setup, in my opinion, right now would definitely be a short of that 15-minute bearish fair value gap. The question is, what would be the best way to get into that? We had a market structure shift. We cleared some sell side. Yes, we could also reverse from here to clear some buy side. But until we close above this 15-minute bearish fair value gap, there's pretty much no reason to expect higher prices. This should offer resistance. So what we can do is drop it down to a... I'm not talking about Apex, I'm talking about... Also just bounced off yesterday's close, let me check that out. I'm talking about trade day, the prop firm you have been funded with and the one you blew your account. Previous day close 16,615. Oh yeah, I see. Almost the closing price. That would be the closing price right here. 445. At least on a 15. Let's say inside that new day opening gap. That's where it bounced from. But still, since NQ is that weak and now is about to clear the Asian session low, I would expect ES to do the same thing. Unfortunately, I haven't been really keen on going in right after I secured my 5 handles. So yes, this would have been actually a nice opportunity. We do not have a 5-minute bearish fair value gap here. We could be looking at a 5-minute breaker block eventually. So that's our 15-minute bearish fair value gap. That's our 5-minute inversion. It kept offering support once and twice right here to deliver into buy side. But once we closed below it, we simply used the inversion fair value gap that offered support. Now as resistance, we got in right here at the low of it and secured right at the midnight open level for a quick 5-handle scalp. And from here, we pretty much bounced, filled in the 15-minute fair value gap that we have left behind. So let me label those things quickly. 15-minute fair value gap. Then we have a 5-minute inversion fair
Right.
value gap.
So trade day, you keep
Yeah.
the first 100% of the first 10,000 that you make, and
Yeah.
then the cut is 90% thereafter.
Yeah, that's very common with auto prop firms. The question is, what do you need to achieve to pay out for the first time with Apex, with trade day? That's the question. Do you need 10 minimum trading days? Can you, like with Take Profit Trader, get paid out immediately?
How often can I withdraw profits? Let's see.
Sort of a turtle soup even up
You
here.
can withdraw profits whenever you like. There are no restrictions. Please note for any withdrawals below 500, then we pass on the banking fee. We process withdrawals at the end of the day. Blah, blah, blah. We make them through wire. Doesn't say that there's any restriction.
Interesting, because I didn't find much on their website and I don't want to spend live stream time looking into it. Marshall, there you are. You're a little bit late. So let's see. This would have been sort of a turtle soup entry of the 15-minute fair value gap, bearish fair value gap. Cleared some equal highs right here. Rejected to deliver down lower. Really, let's see if NQ already cleared sell side. No, but it left behind relative equal lows. And also didn't leave behind many fair value gaps. That would have been the last one. So yeah, there's strong SMT divergence between ES and NQ. Relatively speaking, if we look at the ES chart, NQ is already down here somewhere, while ES is still hanging pretty solid around that New York midnight open level. Yes, I have traded with Take Profit before. I don't think that let's see.
And I need a better video card.
So it's been some time trading account, become an affiliate. Do not sure if I have an affiliate link. Become an affiliate, add new affiliate code. So if you use the affiliate code AZ Trading, you can sign up with Take Profit Trader and you very likely also get a discount. So currently they have a I'm also going to sign up with them very likely this weekend because of that immediate payout, basically. That's awesome compared to Apex and Topstep. So yeah, affiliate code would be, yeah, we could also, it's AZ Trading, capital letters. I'm also going to share that on the YouTube live stream before I head back to the charts. If you want to support the live stream and the YouTube channel, feel free to use that code if you want to sign up with Take Profit Trader for immediate payouts. Alright. I don't like that consolidation ranging with those
Yeah,
big wicks. It's not really
nasty.
favorite conditions. We're inside the SilverBullet hour. Really, the best SilverBullet setup you would have had would have been this 15-minute bearish fair value gap. I don't like that we are holding support around the midnight on the 15. We didn't close below that yet. We didn't close below, or did we? Hang on. We didn't close below this bullish 5-minute fair value gap. We closed it in, yes, but we never closed below. So theoretically, yeah, once we close below it, we could try to still get short of the inversion fair value gap paired with that New York local time midnight. But we can only do that once we get below it. As long as we're holding support here, yeah, the only other reasonable entry would have been the 15-minute bearish fair value gap with those equal highs, turtle soup sort of thing. And if we look at market structure, we could also search for our breaker block. We have low, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So right here we could treat pretty much this range as our breaker block, which is perfectly aligned with our 5-minute inversion and our 15-minute bearish fair value gap. So you get the idea. This would be our breaker block, consecutive down close candles, latest higher low. So yeah, this is where we have been rejecting this entire time. So even more confluence for the initial short right here. I saw a YouTube comment right here if I entered on the breaker. So yeah, theoretically I did not draw up the breaker or draw a breaker on the chart, but yeah, there was overlapping confluence with this breaker right here paired with that inversion fair value gap. So yes, I used a breaker block entry. And that's where we've been holding resistance. That's where all these wicks been going into. But yeah, well, if we would get back up into it, that 15-minute bearish fair value gap, I would try a short because I do not need much on that account to finally pass it. I would also be happy with a entry once we close below this bullish fair value gap right here. Once we close below it, to maybe try a short of the New York midnight to, yeah, trying to achieve the same thing that we did on NQ right here, pretty much clearing the Asian session low. But as long as we're holding here, consolidating inside of those two PD arrays, looks like we wick the lows and bounce up, setting up for 4,400. Yes, it would certainly look that way. So in a sense, that's a perfect 2022 model. We've been forming higher highs and higher lows the entire London session and rollover period, clearing buy side, not having cleared sell side a single time during London kill zone and rollover period until 8 a.m. 8 a.m. we started to take out some sell side, shifted market structure on 5 and 15-minute time frame, leaving behind a beautiful bearish fair value gap on the 15 right here in the displacement leg. We tapped into it and continued to close low. Wicks got in high. Bodies stay low or remain low below a sell side liquidity. We got back into it to retest the breaker paired with inversion. So yeah, we could just use the 15-minute breaker block, which would be this one right here. You all get the idea what it's looking like. That's the same one as on the 5-minute time frame. So let's say hypothetically we should use this to, hang on, let me get rid of these errors that are distracting. So theoretically we should use just let me get rid of a few things we do not need. Just want to have major things drawn up on my chart, otherwise it's gonna get too messy. We also closed back below our 5-minute inversion. So we have even more confluence in this area for a continuation lower, if you ask me. But I'm gonna leave it like here. So yeah, 2 scenarios. We either deliver lower, like enqueued, off this fair value gap, close below here, maybe use the New York Midnight as resistance to take out this sell side, do something around here, maybe fill a fair value gap to deliver lower. But the fact that NQ almost cleared the Asian session low, which is, it's very likely to clear that, and the ES still holding up so strong. I mean, there's a difference of around, so NQ is low, most recent low would be somewhere around here. That's theoretically over 10 handles away from where ES is right now. So the other scenario, if we do not go short from here and we have some sort of a triple bottom on hourly time frame, I'll check that out in a sec. The other scenario, if we have some sort of a bullish SMT divergence between ES and NQ setup holding support around that midnight, paired with a 5-minute bullish fair value gap, also paired with, I did not keep track of that one, this bullish fair value gap on the 15, also kept holding support. Once, twice, we got back into it. We could also use that to deliver back into buy side off here with very strong SMT divergence. We took out some sell sides, so there's a chance that this is the Judas swing of the AM session and that we just continue to expand into buy side. There's a chance. When would I be willing to enter into a long position? Once we close above this 15-minute bearish fair value gap. If we manage to close above this one right here, I would be confident enough that we are going to run for the buy side. But until we do not close above this 15, I would not consider any longs right now. Let me check the hourly time frame. Where do we have a triple bottom on our time frame? I don't see that. Way back to June 28th. That's somewhere below the Asian session low or where we are at right now. For my personal preference, it's too old. I've got my daily draws on liquidity, which would be, let's quickly check out on the daily. We cleared this daily sell side. A low that had a higher low to the left and a higher low to the right. So a definition of a short-term low on a daily time frame sense. So we cleared that after using this gap, volume imbalance, whatever, to deliver into more buy side. So we cleared that sell side. So expecting a pullback is sort of alright. Note that we leave, this whole price range right here, starting from here, has been delivered efficiently on the daily. We closed below this bullish fair value gap, so using it as inversion now. Here, this has all been delivered efficiently. We now leave a potential daily fair value gap open here that we could use to deliver into our next sell side objective if we continue to take out more sell side. But yeah, that's everything else I get from the 5 or 15 minute time frame. So let's see about that actually. We got a new 15-minute candle close in 2.5 minutes. This is our 15-minute bullish fair value gap low. Hang on. I'm going to use a line for that. Once we drop back down to the 5-minute. So what I would like to see now is for this candle to close below the New York midnight level, because then for the first time also on the 15-minute time frame we would get a candle close below New York local time midnight. We would have used that 15-minute bearish fair value gap to deliver into more sell side, paired with a breaker block, paired with a inversion fair value gap. Great setup. Went past me because I already secured 5 handles, so I'm not too worried about it first of all. But I was busy talking about prop firms at that point in time, which is fair enough. But what I would like to see is a close below this bullish fair value gap, a close below the New York local time midnight level, to try a short for pretty much 2 handles to get that account over and done with. Let's see, we have 1.5 minutes left. Let's see if we get what we asked for. And as we are speaking, NQ cleared the Asia session low, the low of the day, low of the week, low of, no, not low of the month. Oh, maybe? No, even low of the month. NES is still bouncing between those 2 PD arrays, bullish fair value gap, some would say order block, bearish fair value gap, breaker block, New York midnight level. 50 seconds to go. So at least we got a 15-minute candle close below the midnight level. That's something. So we closed below it now. We're still inside this 15-minute bullish, overlapping with this 5-minute bullish fair value gap. Unfortunately, we didn't close below it because then I would have already gotten in on the inversion. But let's just see if we get that close below that next, with that next 5-minute candle. If we keep on bouncing in between, I'm not really interested. We should be pretty good with a short bias, since we have a breaker block, inversion fair value gap, 15-minute higher time frame, bearish fair value gap that we have already filled to deliver lower into sell side. The only thing that I don't like is that NQ just took out the low of the day, the Asian session low, which on ES is all the way down here. And ES is, relatively speaking, still holding up strong. So we have pretty solid bullish SMT divergence between ES and NQ. So yeah, it's just to 50-50 for me until we close below this last 5-minute time frame PD array right here that we would need to, that I would need to see before I would trust a run for more sell side. I mean, if you got in on the 15-minute bearish fair value gap, 5 handles, 8 handles, I mean, it depends what you're looking for, but if you look for more than 5 handles, you're stuck inside some ugly ass consolidation. I'm going to be back in around, let's say, 2 minutes. I'm quickly going to the toilet, and then we will see if I get the close below and I potentially get a entry here. I'm going to be back in, yeah, very soon. Alright, I'm back. And eventually we got, once we got the 15-minute confirmation close below New York local time midnight, we saw the continuation into sell side. Question is, so since we cleared that sell side here now, the next sell side we would clear would be either this low or this low right here for a potential target. So let's see if we can still use that 5-minute inversion. We're moving away from it pretty aggressively. Okay, so that's interesting. Just too much of a stop loss for my liking. And now we have the potential to leave behind a 5-minute bearish fair value gap. If we do that, I would trust the short. Fair value gap now, sell side liquidity taken. That's our 15-minute fair value gap low, if you remember. If we go back to the 15. That's our bullish fair value gap. If we close below that, I would use that inversion to eventually deliver into even that sell side. Let's see what NQ is doing. NQ is selling off. Yes, is still holding. So yeah, for so far we have a potential inefficiency of this 10:30 a.m. New York local time candle. If we leave that open, I would very much like that for a potential short. With a volume imbalance, depending on this candle close, if it remains open, we could also treat the volume imbalance as a potential fair value gap. But therefore it needs to remain open. You could also, something that I do on the 1-minute time frame, because it's lower risk exposure, is I enter with, that's what I call an aggressive entry. Once I see a volume imbalance and a strong trend, I enter based on the close of that previous candle. So like right here, I would have entered at 4418, used a 5-handle stop loss usually. You need that on the 5-minute time frame. On the 1-minute time frame, you're fine with less. Then you use the volume imbalance as an aggressive entry, which would have played out very well here. Would have just had to endure a little bit of drawdown, which is not too bad. It's a very aggressive entry and not something I would take for those last $90 really on a funded account. So yeah, we continue to deliver lower of that 15-minute bearish fair value gap. So this was a beautiful entry. I wonder if anyone watching the stream got in here. I missed it because I churned my initial inversion fair value gap 5-handle short. But yeah, this would have been the best trade setup for the entire New York AM session, in my opinion. Right now we're trying to hop into a continuation trade to clear some more sell side and eventually deliver below the Asian session low, as NQ did as well. So yeah, that's just really that's just what we're trying to catch now, if we're realistic. Yeah, this is a beautiful 2022 mentorship setup. Displacement, bearish fair value gap on the 15, breakup block, inversion fair value gap, continuation lower. So let's see, 1.5 minutes left on this 5-minute candle. How many minutes do we have left on the 15? 6.5. So with that next 5-minute candle close, not this one, the following one, we could get a new 15-minute inversion fair value gap, which would be from here to here, which is beautifully also lining up with this potential 5-minute bearish fair value gap. So let's just see. I'm going to draw it in. That's a 15-minute potential inversion. go back to the 5. $30 to go. So that's our 15-minute potential inversion fair value gap. That's a 5-minute inversion fair value gap paired with that New York local time midnight. New York local time midnight. A potential 10 seconds to go until it's confirmed. A 5-minute bearish fair value gap. So really, if we look for this volume imbalance has been priced in, so that's all fine. If we look for downside continuation, really, this area is the highest probability area for exactly that. So what I would like to do right now is actually wait for that next 5-minute candle instead of placing a 5-minute entry already. Because what I would like to see is a definite close below this old bullish fair value gap. We could also be looking maybe even at this old bearish fair value gap, which didn't hold resistance, flipped into support. Yeah, no, actually, we could be looking at that one too. So we see we have plenty of overlapping confluence right here. This 15-minute inversion kept offering support twice already. Depending if we close below it. So yeah, really, we could place a sell limit like this. A 5-handle stop for safety measures. And we would simply target 4.5 handles. We do not need that much. But really, I do not prefer the entry at the fair value gap low. First of all, what I want to do now, before I take a trade, of course, not financial advice, I want to see this candle to close below 4420.5. If I see it closing below this, we have a valid inversion fair value gap, and then I would take the trade somewhere, let's say the 50% of that overlapping box right here. The darker the shade of gray is, with all these overlapping confluences, the better in my opinion. So no reason to get filled right here. I mean, with a different account, not being $100 away or $90 away from passing that challenge, yes, I would have already been in that trade from right here, but I want to see that 15-minute candle close prior to me getting in. Because if we keep holding that old bullish fair value gap on the 15, I wouldn't be that confident in shorts anymore. So I rather wait and sit on my hands until then. But yeah, this could have been enough for a delivery into sell side, and I would be missing out on the potential opportunity. What's NQ looking like? Very weak, to say at least. While ES is still always showing these strong bullish impulses. NQ didn't show that. NQ just sold off pretty much. Alright, so almost only 1 minute left. Let me quickly check. We got a new message and tape reading. TDY New York time. Question mark, Marshall. What kind of question is that? I do not understand it. Just ask it. Oh no, he's not in the chat. Well, then I can't help you, mate. No questions on YouTube. Also, feel free join us on Discord, then you get a non-delayed stream. Here we have roughly a delay of 10 to 20 seconds. So if you want to, simply join our Discord server, and you can sit in with us live and also ask me questions. You can still ask them here. I will reply to them eventually. I mean, it's not like we're super busy on the live stream. So 15 seconds left. Alright, let's check the 15-minute time frame, or a higher time frame. Note that we open up with a volume imbalance to the downside. We now have the 15-minute inversion fair value gap. So I'd say I'd take a short of here. Yep, pretty much. I'd be fine with an entry right here. I'd give it free handle stop loss, max, for the continuation into $100 of profit, pretty much. Of course, not financial advice. Take the trade, copy the trade as you might wish on your own funded account. Note that we also close below this bearish fair value gap right here. We close below it, so we could also just be using that as inversion. Gonna see, I really just want that quick push into my sell limit for the continuation lower, but right here, this is also a potential inversion in itself.
Order filled.
Let's see how we go. Let's go back to the 5, because there we have that 5-minute bearish fair value gap. Just keep track of the count balance. Maybe we can early close out. 934. That's our entry. 959. I need $90. $90. Let's say $100. Divided by 12.5. 8 ticks. 8 ticks would be here. Eight, 9, 10. Let's do 10 for safety. Still, if I wouldn't pass the Apex account with this trade, my take profit would be down here and at the sell side. Invalidation for me personally on the 5-minute would be a close above this bearish fair value gap. So many boxes, but it's alright. Yes, then this would also become an inversion fair value gap. That's why I'm careful with this one right here. If we close above it, we could use that to potentially reverse with a SMT divergence to NQ after clearing enough sell side at least for ES. We have 30 seconds left. Ten seconds left. Let's see where we're going to close. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we close above it. So I'm going to let's see if I can't get a better exit. Otherwise, I'm just getting stopped out. We still have that midnight to offer potential resistance. Let's check the 15. We just filled in the entire inversion. I don't know, I still like the trade. I mean, we have this 15-minute inversion for a reason. Yes, we closed above the 5. It's a tricky one, a very tricky one. Let me see, we got in right here. A 5-handle stop would be right here. 2.0.
Stop filled.
Stopped out anyway. That's fine. Not the worst thing. That's how it sometimes is. So now we have that inversion fair value gap. We didn't reject from here. And yeah, we didn't pass the account, but that's alright. We're still just less than 250 away this time. And we might reverse from here. Let's check on NQ. NQ's doing the same thing. Also closing above that lowest bearish fair value gap. Back above the midnight level. Spooked out on the 15 with that close below. And now immediate bullish engulfing. What's the time? It's 4:51. So I'm only would consider a trade during that last macro of the AM session. For me, that would be between 10:50 and 11:10. That's the time we're in right now. 250 bucks only if I see a good opportunity, I would consider taking that. That's the 15-minute inversion fair value gap. Let's get rid of that 15-minute stuff here quickly. Cleared sell side, bullish SMT divergence, which really could be enough for a potential reversal. Yeah, they do. Alright. 1 minute time frame. Close above. Theoretical market structure shift would be right here. Low, high, lower, low. Yep. Yes, I took a stop loss. I stop out right 1 tick above that New York midnight level. So that was a 10 tick stop, I think. So with that first 5-handle profit that we took right here, we are up 10 ticks for the day, or 2.5 handles. Really should have stopped after that, but I mean, yeah. Or keep on holding it until I pass the challenge, but that was my mistake, really. I would consider taking another trade until 11:10. If we're past 11:10 and I don't see another good opportunity, I would, yeah, live the trade another day. My name's Matt, or Mattes in German, really. But Matt's a lot easier. Nice to meet you too, SilverBullet. So let's take a look. If we get back into that 15-minute bearish paired with the inversion, cleared sell side, bounced off an old bullish 5-minute fair value gap, cleared enough sell side, strong SMT with NQ, back above the midnight level. Earlier I said I only would take a long if we close above this 15-minute bearish fair value gap. But really, hang on. You open ES1 by typing in ES1, but you need that CME bundle, the TradingView subscription. You get that from right here. You simply go on TradingView, CME bundle. There it is already, CME bundle. And yeah, then you pay, I think it's just $5 US or something. And then you get live data. Power up your plan, take a look. Oh, Bradley, oh, Bradley. So we're inside the 11 a.m. macro. Note that, well, it depends what you're looking forward to trade. So there's a difference between prices, yes, because 8 cap is a CFD. So you're trading a CFD, and with ES1, that's a futures chart, which is a centralized chart. CME stands for the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. That's where it's being traded. And yeah, so pretty much, let's say you continue to look at a 8 cap chart and trading a CFD basically. If you then, for example, look at, I don't know, forex.com or FXCM or I don't know, all those forex brokers, they all have different prices because there's no centralization inside of the CFD forex market. You only get that centralization with futures, and then you can really, I mean, everyone who's trading futures is looking at the same price, and quite a few futures traders out there. So depending on what you want to trade, if you're with a CFD prop firm, of course you can look at ES1, but it wouldn't really help you that much. But if you're trading with a futures funding firm like Topstep, Take Profit Trader, or Apex, my broker is TraderWeight through the Apex prop firm account. That's Take Profit Trader. So yeah, my broker is TraderWeight basically. Nah, Bradley, price is not relative. Only with screwed up CFDs. Price is only relative because we made it relative, or brokers made it relative. Of course, their candles stay the same. Yeah, well, now you changed your message. You edited your message. That's unfair. Of course, ES is ES, but S&P 500 on 8 cap is something else than S&P 500 on FXCM. Different prices, blah, blah, blah. Of course, the candle's still gonna look roughly the same, but if we use an approach that's, let's say, as precise as the one that I'm using, yeah, you're better off with ES. Yes, I'm checking NASDAQ right here on the right. I always have that open when I want to check on it, but yeah, not every day. But I only trade ES, yes. And during London, I also trade YM. No, I'm in Germany. I'm not in the US. All right, so let's see. We have this inversion fair value gap right here, paired with a new bullish fair value gap. So we left behind this bullish fair value gap. This would be a bullish inversion. So yeah, this one hasn't been really respected, this inversion. So really, if we continue higher, we do it from here. This overlapping confluence right here for 5 handles. If we want to still continue lower, we close below this bullish fair value gap and continue lower to clear some more sell side. So we fully priced in this bullish fair value gap. Now we open up with a new 5-minute candle. Let's check the 15. Big wick once again to the upside, candles holding low. Does that leave a Reaper? I didn't check that Reaper video. I did not deem it necessary to watch it because I never used a Reaper before. Maybe I used a Reaper before not knowing it was a Reaper. I don't know, I didn't watch his video about that. So I would have liked this candle to close below this fair value gap in order to get into a trade. Here we have a new hourly candle. So if this 1055 candle would have closed below the bullish fair value gap, I would have used the inversion to continue to target shorts. But now we have to wait for another 5 minutes before, yeah, we can get any sort of confirmation. 4224 level. What about that 4224 level? 4224, okay. 4224. There's no such thing as a 4224 level, only as there could be a 4424 level, which would be right here. (11 a.m., so last 10 minutes, where I would consider taking a trade. Continuation to sell side with a quick stop hunt that unfortunately caught us as well when we tried to get short of this bearish fair value gap. But if we check the 15, the inversion fair value gap right here, this one is still holding up. We just left behind a huge wick in the end of the day that you can't account for really. So if this candle is not going to obliterate and already take this sell side, and we close back below this bearish fair value gap that has been flipped into an inversion, paired with this inversion fair value gap, I would consider taking a short here to try it once more for 5 handles, which would just get us below this level. So roughly an entry right here would be ideal. That's what I would be looking for the last trade of the day. Risk 5 to make 5. We will see. 2 more minutes to go before we get confirmation on that candle close. And like I said, that 15-minute inversion that we drew up and tried to use earlier for the first shot that we took still kept on holding. We just had a decent amount of drawdown, to say at least. 6.75 handles, and there's no point holding through that. We have our area of invalidation, which was this bearish fair value gap. Unfortunately, got stopped out and didn't close immediately. That was my mistake. But if we do not sell off immediately from here, which would be nice, I would try to get back in somewhere around this level. Yeah, I don't see anything around 4424, to be honest. We have the midnight open at 4423, which is a good marker that I always draw up on the 5 minute or on every chart every day. especially during the London kill zone. Very well respected. ICT caught 4424. He's very likely looking at something on the 1 minute time frame. I don't know. 4424. Maybe because of this inversion fair value gap, but anything around that level hasn't really been respected. So I don't know why he caught that, to be really honest with you. I don't know. So we close below it. Let's see if we can't get a quick sell limit right here.
Order
filled.
filled.
Perfect entry. So we closed below this bullish fair value gap inversion. We closed back below this old bearish fair value gap, which has been flipped into an inversion and now used again. So all we're looking forward to is a quick 5-handle target during that 10:50 to 11 a.m. macro. I'm going to risk not much on this trade. Max 3-handle stop loss. My buy stop goes right above here. Let's find out if we use this to deliver lower or if we get stopped out. 15-minute time frame. 10 minutes before that candle is going to close. Yeah, doesn't matter. I don't care what ICT tweeted there. I'm not checking ICT's tweets anymore. I found my own style, and that's really what you should do as well. Practice. Find your own style using ICT-Concepts. Not waiting for him to call a level or something. Just my opinion. Got better things to do than that. Nice rejection. %. If you just try to, yeah, I already said it. And you should also not try to mimic what I'm doing, because my approach is tailored to fit me. It's not tailored to fit you. You can use bits and pieces of everyone's approach, trying to tailor your own approach. So little bits of, maybe you like that active risk management approach with those fair value gaps. Maybe you haven't seen that before. You use that into your own approach and do that. Maybe with different entry techniques or whatever, with a different charting technique. I don't think that fits you. Waiting for ICT to call a level or do a live stream, that's not gonna get you to that consistently profitable stage that you want to reach as an individual trader. He's got everything uploaded on YouTube. How can I study ICT 2016, 17, 2022? Which one? Start with 2022 in my opinion. Don't have to know everything. That's also an important point. I thought I had to know everything before I can get profitable, but you only actually have to know one good setup for life. That's really technique, approach, whatever it really is. Yes. How can I learn from Larry Williams except books? I don't know how you can. I never learned from Larry Williams. I guess he's one of the older traders, so perhaps books and maybe YouTube videos about Larry Williams. Let's see, it's 11:10 now. If we can't, I would be surprised if we can't deliver into that sell side by the end of this candle close. We're inside that macro. We continue to close and use the inversion and disinversion as resistance. Unless we're just going to consolidate, yeah, we will see. My stop loss is now above this high. I would not like to see price get back above it. NQ inside a bullish fair value gap. Don't really like that. We're not inside a bullish fair value gap on ES. But inside of a rejection block, if we look at the SWIG. Tiny weeny little bullish fair value gap right here. Bearish fair value gap. Yeah, we should still be fine. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, it could be a double bottom with bullish engulfing candle, but that's not the approach that I'm using. I framed my short based on my tape reading analysis. Millions of different ways to look at this price action, literally. You just gotta find that one that you like, you enjoy practicing. If I have a course, I do not have a masterclass or course per se. I do these live streams, and eventually, once we get more viewers, I'm still going to do 3 live streams. I'm planning on doing 2 per week for free, and the other ones are going to be charged. And I will not forever share all my trades on screen, because I think that's not really the right thing to do. I would much rather like to explain and share my thoughts, and then from there on, take trades on a different screen. I will still share them with paid members, very likely. But yeah, it's not about copying my signals, it's more about learning the approach. And if you like it, you continue doing that. Hang on, just let me focus on the trade before I answer that question. I can't think and... I have an indicator-based strategy that I used to pass a funded Topstep account with just 2 days ago. Hang on, that last 1 minute is usually the tricky one. It's 11:10. Back at break even. And Q is holding that bull fair value gap. We still have that S&T. Come on. Couldn't it have just delivered for 5 handles quickly? 10 seconds to go. One more rejection before we continue lower. Let's not get a bullish engulfing candle. That would be nice. Alright. My Forex funds is good for indexes, yes. My Forex funds overall is a very good prop firm. But it's CFDs. If I trade indexes, I would not trade it with a CFD firm, period. I would trade it only with a futures funding firm for the precision it offers. No spread, lower commissions, yeah, and the precision. It's just unbeatable. Real-time market data, yeah. Come on. Here's some sort of equal lows. Yeah, I could frame the same thing, that we're going to consolidate from here, so that's also why I'm really keen on getting out of this trade. I do not trade Forex at this point in time. I used to for a very long time, but right now I'm content with YM and ES, so Dow Jones futures and the S&P 500 futures contract. Yeah, it's about 50-50, and that's what I really don't like about it right now. I'm considering placing my stop loss at break even. Because if we get back up in there, I mean, I don't want to hold it through drawdown after 11:15, 11:10. I wanted to see that sell side to be hit by 11:10. Didn't happen. So yeah, I'm fine if I get out at break even. Honestly, I do not want to, yeah, wait for a potential retracement into the 8:30 free handle stop loss. No, that's fine with me. I usually stop at 11:10. That macro is the last opportunity for me. So I'm fine with getting stopped out at break even here. Lower commissions and only one tick of spread with CFD prop firms, especially when scalping on a lower time frame, you will eventually have spread issues with limit orders and stuff like that. And yeah, if you want to trade indices, go with a futures funding firm, 100%. If you want to trade currencies, FX currencies, go with MFF or the funded trader. I don't like how it's bouncing off this level here consistently. Hit my 5-handle target, come on. Come on, boy. We're at break even anyway, so just cleared sell side one more time, getting rejected again and again and again. Let's wait for that last minute. We theoretically should hit that sell side, but I mean, who am I to say what price should do or shouldn't? For futures, in my opinion, the best prop firm is Topstep, because I think they really want traders to succeed. I've been in several one-on-one coachings with Topstep trading coaches. They're for free if you're funded. So that's really awesome. No other prop firm is pretty much doing that. So I really like that part about it. Payouts wise, I would say take Profit Trader, because you can pretty much get immediate payouts once funded. And if you look for the cheapest option, you go for Apex. But it's also, out of the three future funding firms, the hardest one to get paid out. Hard is relative. Two, one. So we close below, but we had a gap up. Let's see if we can't hit those 5 handles. Yes, I'm still short. Do you see my screen? Yeah, I'm still short. No point in closing the trade right now. I'm already at break even. It's either hitting my 5-handle target and I pass that funded account as well, or I'm at break even and I likely do it tomorrow during London. Well, I only heard good things, and I'm also funded with my Forex funds. I'm just not using the funded account at this point in time. Yeah, my Forex funds or FTMO, because they're not 8-cap broker funding firms, and I think those ones are, let's say, typically the worst ones. The funded traders also pretty solid, but I don't know, heard a few bad things about it. So I personally can only recommend FTMO and my Forex funds.
Order filled.
And we passed the Apex account. What a way to end the stream. Oh, you're on holiday, Ryan. Nice. Enjoy it. How's the weather over there? Right here it's thunderstorm, raining. Nah, not nice. That's why I'm still okay sitting here. Oh, yeah, buy stop off. Sorry, I got lost in that chat. Yeah, yeah. Happened to me once. Never again. Alright, nice. So, last 5-handle trade. Let me turn on the executions. Did anyone take this trade as well? Did I journal that previous one? I don't think I did. So I got in short here, closed right there, here, till one tick above the midnight level. That's a 12 tick stop loss. So 12 times 12.5. $150 is what I lost on this trade, so I'm going to journal that quickly. I tried to go short off here, stopped out right here. Target 5 handles right here. So let's journal that. Always important to not just celebrate and blah blah blah. Do your journaling before you forget it. So right here, new trade, we tried to short ES1. We had a loss of negative $150. We went short with one contract. Right here, details. We used a 15-minute continuation, fair value gap inversion, fair value gap tape reading. New York session. Add trade. And yeah, there we go. So now we had another trade. We used that same screenshot. And we went short on ES with one contract on our Apex number 3. We made $250. We had a, let me quickly check that again on this setup. We used a double inversion fair value gap, really. So we're just gonna add that tag too. Now we can only add that one time. inversion fair value gap paired with a funny tags I use, but that's what it is. Sometime the only tag that you can use is madness, because you just can't stop yourself. But that's how you grow. Tape reading, not a volume imbalance entry. SilverBullet, nah, not SilverBullet, but a 10, 50, 11, 10 macro. New York, inversion fair value gap, tape reading. Yeah, that should do for the tags. Screenshot, details. Alright, and there we go. Past that funnel account as well. Let me quickly catch up with the Discord chat. So if there are any questions regarding these two trades, I'm going to reply to them now. Let me just put Discord on my main screen so I can. From here on, really, I do not continue trading past 11 a.m. It's 11:10, so that's that last macro from 10:50 to 11:10, where yeah, I would have taken a trade where I actually did take two, so that's fine with me. We cleared that sell side, immediate bullish reaction, so I could see us to consolidate inside of this area. We have those two bullish fair value gaps on the 5 that kept on holding support the entire day. To clear those Asian lows, what I would really like to see is a close below that last bullish fair value gap. And once we close below it, we could use the inversion to, yeah, pretty much target the Asian session low, which would just be 3.5 handles, so an entry maybe of this low would be ideal. But I'm done for today. We had a few good opportunities. Unfortunately, we missed the best one right here based on a 15-minute time frame because we already secured 5 handles prior to that. But alright, let me pull up Discord and see if I can't answer a few questions. Alright, awesome trade. I'm here late. I'm okay, you're on holiday. It was a nice trade, of course. Luckily, didn't get stopped out at break even. But once I saw this pump, immediate rejection, 15-minute candle closing all the way down here. So we saw that 15-minute inversion actually holding. We just had a big sort of fuck you wick saying, you got in on this inversion. Yeah, well, you only deserve it if you can manage to hold through all this drawdown. I'm not a fan of holding through that drawdown. I prefer to take a small loss. Really, I should have gotten out right here for 1.5 handles. I saw the close above and immediately I should have exited. But at this point in time, I thought maybe it's returning back into that inversion and I can take a smaller loss. Well, it didn't play out and I took a loss that's twice as big. But yeah, then we immediately rejected, closed above this bullish fair value gap, also closed below this inversion fair value gap that really should have kept holding support right here. We had overlapping confluence of a bullish fair value gap paired with a inversion fair value gap where we would now like to see support. We cleared enough sell side to power a reversal. So for higher prices, I would have expected this fair value gap to hold paired with the inversion. It didn't do that. We closed below, so I trusted the short with a 3-handle stop loss targeting 5. Done and dusted. That was basically this trade. Nice one too. At 7:23 it's your time. What's the difference between fair value gap and inversion fair value gap? Yeah, it's a fair value gap that hasn't been respected really. And I put more weight on fair value gaps that have been respected previously. So what do I mean by that? So for example, now hang on. Here during the early London session, if we drag this over. So this fair value gap right here, we took out that daily sell side, if you remember from earlier during the stream. We took out that sell side during Asia with a big rejection wick. So market structure wise, we formed a low, high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So right here would be our market structure shift level. Where do we have it? Market structure shift bullish. sorry, we had this bullish fair value gap right here, and this kept on holding support. So a fair value gap that actually did its job and kept holding support is a fair value gap where I put more weight on. So let's say we would have 4 fair value gaps in here, but only 2 of them kept holding support, and the other ones have been invalidated because we closed below it to fill a lower fair value gap. Yeah, I wouldn't put too much weight on that one. So a fair value gap that has been offering support previously is a preferred fair value gap in my opinion. And then we got back below it. So right at this point in time, this fair value gap would have been a inversion fair value gap because we would have expected support since it also has already offered support right here at 10 p.m. New York local time. We closed below it, but eventually just to fill in or to retest this old bullish fair value gap, the lower one. And immediately afterwards, we close back above the so said inversion fair value gap. So right here, we had a little bit of a turbulence, but it's prior to 2 a.m. So I wouldn't even consider taking a trade at that time. I would start taking a trade at 2 a.m. New York local time. And what did we see? We bounced off bullish fair value gaps that kept holding support previously. Where did I get in for the first time? Right here. That doesn't matter. It's just an example. So inversion fair value gaps are fair value gaps that have been offering support. Those are the best ones. So right here, that's actually the perfect example. We used this bullish fair value gap to deliver into buy side, bounced off it once more. Right here at 8:30, where we had unemployment claims, delivered into buy side, then we consolidated. And eventually, right here at 9:40, after the New York stock market opened up, we closed below it. So a fair value gap that has been holding support multiple times, once, twice, we closed below it. And that's right here where we got the short idea for the inversion, which is also perfectly overlapping with this breaker block right here. We wicked inside of it. And a little bit later, we also had a confirmation for a 15-minute bearish fair value gap right in here. We had some sort of a turtle soup. We cleared those 2 equal highs, immediately rejected and delivered into sell side. But let's say, for example, this fair value gap is that's also why I have it on the chart, and I do not have this one on the chart. Here we also have a bullish fair value gap, but we didn't respect it. We closed below it, blah, blah, blah. This is also post 5 a.m., where I do not consider taking any trades anymore. I start taking trades after 8 a.m. And in the meantime, I check, okay, what happened between London session and New York begin. And I pretty much just draw out the fair value gaps that have been respected. And those are going to be the ones that are going to be respected later. Of course, you could still draw all of them in, but then your chart would just consist of infinite gray boxes. So yeah, you want to filter them out a little bit. And if they kept holding support previously and we close below them, vice versa for a bullish inversion fair value gap, we would expect resistance. And they work the best if you have overlapping confluence, like a bearish breaker block and a 15-minute bearish fair value gap. Higher time frame, breaker block, inversion fair value gap, market structure shift on 5 and 1 minute and 15-minute time frame. I mean, what more could you ask for? So we actually managed to clear that sell side down here. I hope I answered a few questions regarding inversion fair value gaps with that little explanation. Let me see. No, I don't mind if you refer to them. I think we bounce off CE at off order block. This may be low for session. What time do you start streaming and what is your A+ trade? I start streaming at 8 a.m. New York local time. I'm also sharing potential trade setups here in ES analysis and tape reading during London kill zone. So where would be an example for it? Right here, tape reading the trade I shared during London. Right here, based on a 15-minute fair value gap. Secured 5 handles on that one. The other partial has been stopped out right here at this low. So during London from 2 a.m. New York local time until 5 a.m., I'm sharing setups and my thoughts in form of, simple messages, because then I can concentrate a little bit more than usually during a live stream where I answer questions and stuff like that. So yeah, and live streaming I start usually daily at 8 a.m. But I would let everyone know. So once I create a event right here on Discord, I usually do that the morning ahead or maybe one day prior to me actually live streaming. That's when live stream is happening. So what time do you start streaming? 8 a.m. New York local time. What is your A+ trade setup? My A+ trade setup would be the 2022 reversal setup, which in fact is, I mean, I could, hang on, trading, executions. It's already journaled, so I do not have any problems pretty much getting rid of all this. I mean, if we look at it this way, we sort of have a phantom trend line of liquidity. Kept bouncing off it. It's not perfect, but it's alright. We slowly move our way up throughout London. Note that the only thing that we cleared is buy side. Buy side. Buy side. You get the idea, buy side. We have news to pump up one more time. We have our market structure shift right here. Bearish market structure shift. And then from here on, getting into a short to clear orders sell side liquidity. And I've already gotten based on this inversion, but I didn't keep on holding it. All I'm looking currently for is 5 handles. Pretty simple. And got in on this inversion right here. Secured 5 handles and done. I unfortunately missed out on the 15-minute opportunity, which would have been right here. So also on the 15, the higher time frame, we would have actually gotten the perfect entry. 15-minute bearish fair value gap. Breaker block right here, also from the 15-minute time frame. Breaker block, bearish fair value gap, 5-minute inversion fair value gap. That would be my perfect setup into sell side. I mean, that setup offered minimum drawdown and almost 20 handles in profit. That's not what I'm aiming for, but yeah, that would potentially be it. We kept holding that 15-minute bearish fair value gap. After continuing to drop, and note, this 15-minute candle also closed below the 15-minute bearish fair value gap. So yeah, this was a picture perfect setup. So this would be a chart that I usually, so if I'm finished trading, let's say at 8:30 already, because I secured my 5 or 10 handles prior to 9:30 open, and I do not continue to trade, what I do is at the end of the day, I go back to it, look at the chart. Even with hindsight, in my opinion, it's not a problem, and I look for the best trade setup to train my eye for me catching it during live trading conditions eventually. So that's all it is. So, and this would be the best trade setup for today. I mean, I got in right here for 5 handles. That was fine. Then we consolidated. It was not the cleanest short because we spent quite some time with big wicks and blah, blah, blah. But all right, you can't really complain about that. That would be my A+++ setup. With all this overlapping confluence, it can't really get much better than that. And an A setup for me would be, so the easiest setups, in my opinion, are once the market has decided it wants to go into a specific direction, to simply catch a quick move into the next sell side liquidity pool in this example. But right here, we do not really have a great example. But yeah, 2022 mentorship model. Hang on. Looks like 4413.5 is the next bullish order block. How do you like the long at 4411? Stop 2 points. Let me take a look at that. So we still have bullish SMT with Nasdaq, because Nasdaq went below the Asian session low. we do have even more bullish SMT because Nasdaq didn't clear the sell side right here at 14,856. So first of all, we have this bullish SMT from the Asian session low to where we are at right now. And if we compare NQ, the most recent lows, we have a low right here at 1035 and a low at 1135. So we have even more bullish divergence, which could be good for a potential long. Let's look at it. Let's look at a order block. Therefore, I like to go to the 15 at least. So we look for the candle that grabbed liquidity, which would have been this one right here. So this would be the beginning of the order block. Now we can start dropping it down to the 5 if we can maybe refine it. Clear daily sell side, only had big wicks. So it's not really what I would consider as an order block. A high probability order block, in my opinion, would be, that's if we wouldn't have such a big upper wick. But yeah, theoretically, this should hold support, especially with that newly formed SMT divergence. Yeah, did we keep holding this bullish fair value gap? Let me see. Might be too late. I'm sorry about that, but we still have this lowest bullish fair value gap that kept holding twice. 5-minute time frame. Maybe we've got something on the 2. Big wicks. Let me check the one. Tricky. Of course, this would be the order block, and but I don't know. I haven't been using order blocks like this because all I see down here is sell side liquidity. And I'm thinking, why wouldn't it take that sell side liquidity? What's left? Of course, we could simply quickly pull back to clear some buy side right here before continuing lower. Same way like we did right here. We dropped lower, but instead of clearing all the sell side that was available, we had a quick pump up. But eventually, or essentially, I would not look forward to frame a long position. We have that last hourly bullish fair value gap that's also paired with a inversion. So right here we had a bearish fair value gap. We closed above it, so now it's an inversion fair value gap. We came back to retest it, hold support. And now we're right at this level as well. The next hourly candle is going to close in 15 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't know what price would want back inside of this range, really. We had this drop. We left behind a decent fair value gap. We filled it in, and even a 4-hour, like, I don't know, if you look for a quick scalp for maybe 3 to 5 handles, yes. But I'd say that order block won't hold us, especially because ES also already delivered lower. Quick 1-minute scalp, yes, maybe, but I think we're gonna drop. So we could be looking at, where's this coming from? Oh, that's the hourly bearish fair value gap. Where was our old lowest discount? Right here and right here. We closed below it, so we would expect no candle to close back above it. So this would now be the most recent inversion fair value gap that I would like to see act as resistance to eventually clear the sell side and follow NQ. Of course, that order block could play out, but no, I don't know. I'm not a fan of those sort of order blocks. More a fan of clearing that sell side, personally. Let me find a great example for a high probability order block in terms of scalping, the ones that I use. Do we have a good example anywhere here on the 5? I can pull up my trade journal, look for a high probability order block example. But yeah, I would expect sell side. And once we get the close below 413, it's written in stone that we're going to take the sell side, in my opinion. Check the 1. Low, high, lower low. Bearish fair value gap. So yeah, right here there's really the opportunity to use the 1 minute time frame. Bearish fair value gap kept holding resistance. We do not have any bullish discounts that we could be looking forward to act as support really here, even on the 1 minute time frame. Close above this old bearish fair value gap would be the inversion setup, and we could be forming some sort of a inverted head and shoulders right here, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, but therefore we would really need to see for confirmation a close above 4417.25 in order to maybe attack buy side here, 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 and potentially fill some unfilled inefficiencies right here, and a small one right here. But until we do not close above this most recent bearish fair value gap that has been put in place, no reason to expect a bullish momentum. Or 5 handles to the upside, I mean. From here on, inversion 5 handles would deliver you just above this high. Of course, you'd prefer to get your entry lower, but not even on a 1 minute time frame, you'd get the chance to do that. And right here we have now a bearish fair value gap paired with a new bearish fair value gap right here. So yeah, now really I wouldn't expect this order block to hold long term. Maybe for 5 handles, but not much more. So let me go back to Discord. Does that mean the market is bullish? No, the market is bearish, in my opinion, right now. I mean, if we go back to the daily, get rid of the drawings here quickly. We currently are bearish. I mean, if you look at it, this is in terms of market structure on the daily, we have let's say here we had the contract shift over to ESU, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Theoretically, we already had the market structure shift here. If we think about it, this would have been a daily market structure shift. Bearish. We didn't close below it, so not really confirmed the way I like to look at it. But right here, we eventually closed below it, left behind a bearish fair value gap, filled it, delivered into sell side. So right now we are inside daily bearish market structure. So targeting sell side, daily sell side, would be the major draw on liquidity and using fair value to frame your daily buys really. I mean, we've just been clearing buy side, and it's okay to have a pullback after a rally like this. I mean, consolidation, and then we pretty much expanded since May all the way to the upside, clearing orders buy side right above here. Here we have the all-time high, so having a pullback before breaching the all-time high on ES is to be expected. I mean, how often do we pull back in a bull market? It's part of it. Shake out a few week longs and yeah, continue back to the upside. Unless Michael Burry is correct and we're gonna crash. But even then, we have plenty of opportunities. Alright, seems like we're using this bullish fair value gap that kept holding support, disregarding this little thing right here, because all we did was pretty much hold support on that lowest bullish fair value gap. We closed below it, we wick inside of it, we would have had to endure a little bit of drawdown right here. Entry, stop loss, maybe one tick above here. Risky, not my favorite entry, but for the continuation setup for 5 handles, very nice. And now if we close below, in 10 seconds, if we close below this old bullish fair value gap, no doubt in my mind that we could, I don't know, take a paper trade and see that thing continue lower. So paper trade idea for me personally would be, let me quickly add that up. Quick short of here, sell 1. Yep, we're locked into paper trading. Let's do 3 units, 100k account. Stop loss just above this high, 10 ticks. $14 ticks, so let's go for 5 handles. Below that Asian session low, and I would like to see this inversion fair value gap to be used, newly formed. Paper trade. Especially at this time, 11:50. Well, we are inside a new macro, so let's just find out. Let me get rid of all this. See if that little paper trade works out. But let me get back to Discord. Maybe we've got a few more questions. No, we do not. All right. Awesome. Okay, so we filled. If we violate the inversion and close back above it, that's just a sign that we might consolidate it for a little while around here. Let's check NQ, because as we can see, NQ, that's a thing I don't like about this setup, still hasn't breached that low. This low right here, for reference. And ES continuously delivered lower while NQ kept holding that level. Yes, it's ranging around it, but NQ also already took that Asian session low, where maybe during the PM session we could see a retracement. But that's not giving me biggest confidence in this short. We will see. Close above this inversion, I would personally close the position once more. And that's a good thing about a paper trading account. It's your laboratory. It's where you can test specific things and learn from it. Alright, already stopped out on this little paper trade here. So, order block might still be holding up. It's just not the kind of order block I'd like to see. But that's me personally. If you have a other approach, then stick to that. But eventually on the higher time frame, we're gonna get to that sell side. I would be surprised if I would come back to the charts later during the PM session and see the sell side being left behind, honestly. That doesn't mean I'm trying to force shorts just to get into it. We hit 5 handle targets twice today. We had a beautiful 2022 mentorship setup right here with a sort of a turtle soup right here with those equal highs. What more could we really ask for? A few small losses, but that's the thing about losses. Keep them small, you win as big, and you should be fine. Let's wait for this small candle, and unless, okay, we're inside that 1150 to 1210 macro now. Curious to see if we won't take the sell side in between that. But let me get back to Discord. Sorry, I had to step away for a sec. I took OB off 30 minutes. Let me check that. Don't even have the 30 minutes chart in my favorites. The 30 minutes looks more like an order block. A order block that I would like to take. Yeah, looks cleaner. 30 minutes. Bearish fair value gap. We close above it. Comes inversion fair value gap right here. We retest it, continue into buy side, pull back, keep holding right at the high, continue into buy side. Now for the first time we close back below it. We could see potential resistance here. So let's get back to the 5. I think that candle is just about to close. And yeah, once again, all it was my stop loss. I mean, with my trading approach, you have to use a bigger stop loss. The only times you will get stopped out is on big fuck you wicks. That's what I call them, at least. I don't know, I've heard that term from another trader. But I mean, essentially, we got in right here, almost 5 handles. Usually my stop loss sits around 5 handles, so if I wouldn't have gotten in here during London, my stop loss would have been exactly 5 handles. But I don't like holding through that, and that only usually happens during New York, but that just proves the point one more time. Wicks do the damage, period. And bodies tell the story. If we get rid of those annoying wicks here, and we just look at the bodies, they tell the story. We go through the fair value gaps, we close below it. Wicks trigger us into the trade eventually. We continue lower. All this candle did was this small movement. Wick did the damage, which stopped us out on this little paper trade here. But the body is still closed back below the inversion. We might get back up into it now. I don't know. I'm not really interested anymore, and I also don't want to place any paper trades. That's not the image I want to share. To continue to trade 24/7. That's also why I'm going to end the live stream now. Essentially, I should have closed the ended the live stream already after my first 5 handle profit right here of this short. But yeah, I was just $100 short of passing that funnel account, and I continued to trade, took a loss until I finally passed it. But that's not really the image I want to present. So in the future, once we had 5 handles, especially on a live funded account, done. Be content with enough and close the charts. All right. That's part of it. DR, it's hitting the bottom of the R lot. I only wanted 5 points. I would have been out of this trade. I didn't take it. That's all right. There are going to be thousands of other trades if you continue the trading journey that you're not going to take. It's part of it. Still down here, I don't like it. I mean, look at the size of those wicks. Unless you trade micros, or depending on your account size, you can do that, but yeah, I don't know. Once let's say this candle would close above this inversion fair value gap, this would just confirm to me that, yeah, it's time to step away from the charts, really. Until 1:30 roughly, until the PM session starts. If you're really keen on continuing to trade today, live to trade another day, be content with enough, and yeah, even if you're in drawdown, doesn't matter. Red days are part of it. You can't only have green trading days. That's not possible. Just gotta keep them small. That's a DR thingy, 10:30. Yeah, well, so unless there are any more questions, I would end the stream here. I will be back live tomorrow at 5 p.m., 8 a.m. New York local time. And I will also be doing live analysis during the London kill zone here on Discord. And yeah, for the YouTube watchers, make sure to join the Discord server. There you will have delay-free live streams, and you will also stay up to date with everything regarding the accumulation zone. All right. I just wanted to check one more thing. Apex 2, do I have setups? HP order block, no trade found. That can't be right. Nah, anyway, doesn't matter. So everyone, I hope, let's watch those last 30 seconds and say goodbye. If we close back above this inversion, that's just confirming that price isn't delivering the way I would expect it to deliver. And that's also because we're outside of my trading hours. 8 till 11 max. If you did not manage to secure 5 handles in this entire period, don't need to continue to try to get it within the lunch hour from 12 to 1 or something. So we managed to close above it. Note how we closed above it and how we opened up with a bullish volume imbalance. Nice to see, but yeah, I would have liked these ones to be respected. And usually during the right conditions, they are being respected. So once you see they're not respected, it's a good time to maybe just sit there and watch, or to take a mental break and come back during the PM session later today. Alright guys, thanks very much for sitting in with me this entire stream. Let's see how long we've been streaming here. We've been streaming for 4 hours. Awesome stream, I really enjoyed it. First time I've been streaming on YouTube as well. Past the last of the Apex evaluations I had going on. So yeah, I hope I see you again tomorrow and next week. So until then, take care and trade safe. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.